Check. Okay. I need somebody to let me know in chat as soon as they see this, because I thought I was going for 5 minutes. I swear I was not on CP time. I started on time. I actually started 3 minutes early. And then I talked for 5 minutes and we weren't streaming. We're just making sure everything's going for a second. Okay. Check. Let's try this again. Second try is a charm. 1 second. All right, let's start this over. Guys, I promise I wasn't 5 minutes late. I was 3 minutes early, but I wasn't streaming. OBS lied to me. Okay. And it looks like we have about a 10-second delay. All right. Okay, so what was I saying? Oh, yeah. We're going to start off slow, start off smooth, relax into it, and just chill for a little while, wait and see if some people jump up in chat, hang out, talk about whatever. We're going to listen to some music and play a song to get us started off before we jump into the show content. So if you're watching a VOD or if you're watching this later, then you might want to jump ahead like 5 or 10 minutes or just skip through for a little while, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of today. Look at this show plan, guys, that I got written out by one of my employees. Looks like chicken scratch. There's writing all over the place and crazy, just random words written everywhere, and Bible verses and and studies and FBI investigations. And anyway, show plan for today is the formula people attack. They've gone wild. They've gone crazy. And this is not a political issue, guys. Usually it's going to be like politics and things like that. Political events in the first session, and then like news, and then religious, theology stuff in the last section of the show. But this is not a political thing. This is a formula crisis, guys. There's no formula on the shelves, and people are mad about it. So we're going to talk about that, and we're also going to talk about this Twitch streamer gone wild. Twitch streamers going nuts. This is what social media does. Anything to go viral, guys. That's my hot take. So we'll get into that topic. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then stick around for the show and you'll find out. You should by now. And then for the theological stuff that we'll get into later in the show, we're going to talk about all the different uses of love in the Bible, the word love. And I think this is a problem. A lot of people who are like religious people or spiritual people, they'll be talking about love, and there's different kinds of love. So which one are you talking about? So we'll get into that at the end, boys and girls. But for now, let's jam out to some Tyson James. So I was telling a story before I found out that I wasn't actually streaming. I was talking for 5 minutes, but Tyson James, when I first found him, he had like 1,000 subscribers, and at the time I had like 1,200. So I had more than him, which I don't care, that doesn't mean anything. But I knew this guy was going to blow up, and I would, in all his videos, I'd always be up in chat, not in the chat, excuse me, because he wasn't doing lives back then. Red leather, red leather, red leather. I told you guys this is the beginning part, so we're just chilling right now. Trying not to burp into the mic and cough and stuff. So, yeah, so I was watching all his videos and I would always comment and be like, oh, fire track, awesome song, great, great. And one point I was joking around and I was like, oh, I'm in a subscriber race with you because we were staying neck and neck and I would get a little ahead and then he would, and I'm sure I was nobody to him. So he wasn't watching my content, like seeing where my subscribers was. But this guy, I knew he was going to blow up and I was like, man, this guy's a, you know, fire. It's fire. Like, really, he should have like 5 million subscribers, but he has 100,000. So he definitely blew me out of the water. But anyway, at some point I wrote him in a comment. I said, could I put some of your music in my videos as like B-roll and stuff? And he said, yeah, that's fine. And at the time I was doing all my editing on a phone and stuff, and I couldn't figure out how to get MP3. I would have had to buy the music, and I didn't have money to buy, CDs at the time. I would have had to buy a CD because he sells hard copy CDs. I think I could get digital. I think he does digital too. But I didn't have a lot of money at the time, so this was a while ago. But I need to just buy some of his music and play the tracks. But I'll play it off YouTube, which is just as good. But he said, yeah, you can play my songs in your videos. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play some Tyson James because, I can't watch that. That's myself 10 seconds slower. That'll make me go crazy. Why is this sticking out over here? So I'm not going to be monetizing any of these live streams, guys, because they'd all take a not censorship. Now I just can't think of the word. A copyright claim. They'd all take a copyright claim within the first couple minutes of the video, because as an opener, we're going to play this music. We're just going to bump. We're going to do a reaction. It'll be a reaction video. Actually, I don't know if they can monetize those, but it'll be a reaction video, and we'll just react to this awesome Tyson James song. But I won't be monetizing these videos anyway, but if I did, what would happen is the money would just go to whoever took the copyright claim, so it would go to him, which I'd be fine with that if these videos ever, were to make money. But since I'm talking about sensitive content, kind of, to some people, I'm talking about politics and religion, and that's not advertiser safe, so they'll like give you a thing where you can monetize, but it's only for your members. Do you make money off of it publicly? It's not monetized because it's harmful content to advertisers. So, and that doesn't mean that it's like bad content. It just means it's controversial, maybe like political, religious stuff, different opinions or whatever. This is how they see it. So I wouldn't be able to monetize this anyway, or all the money would just go to you. They'll do that to you, and then they'll still play ads on your videos, though. That's what's whack. They'll still play ads, and they'll just take all the money of it, but they won't let you make money off the ads that they're already playing, because it doesn't make any sense, dude. It doesn't make any. I'm sorry, Sue. Sorry. We'll talk about Sue later. Sue Dub. All right, guys, let's listen to this song. Wait for somebody to jump up and chat. Hey, Jesus is my Lord. God bless you, brother. What's up? How's life? How is life? Jesus is my Lord. Let's listen to some music. Get the show going, because I'm kind of rambling about nothing right now. What is this? Let's see here. All right, cool. I'm just getting everything ready, making sure. How's everything sound? Let's check the desktop audio with this. All right. Screen share TV.
I was born here. And I've written many songs glorifying it. But it ain't perfect. Now I'ma write a song criticizing it. Don't be surprised now. We are just the empire of lies now. It's looking like we're meeting our demise now. Put your faith in God and look up to the skies now. 'Cause we are just the empire of lies now. We are just the empire of lies now.
Fire.
It's looking like we're meeting our demise now. Put your faith in God and look up to the sky now. The time is now, we're just the empire of lies now. Need an overhaul, overseas we so involved. I see the writing, it's on the wall. This Babylon, we gonna fall. You think God is looking down and proud of all his people? We kill babies by the millions. He will crush us, we are feeble. He is God, we are man. He's the rock, we are sand. He's got a rod with a big old hand. One swipe, all your little plans, man. Okay, I will not put any faith in
Yo, is there music coming out of the desktop? No. Alright, we're getting all the audio and stuff right.
Look in my eyes. Bro, China, Russia. Man,
The ops. Most of them making a loss. Most of them making a profit.
Take a look at the clock. Time is ticking. Need a boss. God's coming with the big old mop. Okay, let me get this straight. We kick God.
All right. Show topics for today. Show topics. We've already talked about it, but as people come in, we got formula people. Not on the right, not on the left. It's not political, guys. Formula people come in all shapes and sizes. Oh man, we've got the Gendron shootings, the Gendron shooting. We've got we're gonna be learning some Greek. 7 different words for love in the Bible. Well, not in the Bible. 7 different Greek words for love. 3 or 4, arguably, used in the Bible. I don't speak Greek though, but we're gonna find out. Put your faith in God and look up to the sky now. The time is now. We're just the empire of lies now. Corruption. Everybody gets the Russians. But I don't trust the production. This is Tyson James, guys. If you don't know Tyson James, you should. The TV ain't what it seems. He coming no other relief. Look at that video. That's graphic. We turning the boys into girls and taking the king off the throne. Man, instead of these foreign affairs, man, why don't we keep it home? Got a border crisis, big threat. It's more than ISIS. Point the finger, who's more righteous? That's Babylonian whore rises. Everybody drinking from her cup. Won't you come here to America? We can fill it up. I'm American, but truly, I just think I had enough. Bunch of dummies run this country. Things about to get rough. All right, I'm hyped now. Let's go. Homosexuals, people living it up, partying. What's up, Mike? We hot, popping into the red. Don't be surprised now. We are just the empire of lies now. It's looking like we're meeting our demise now. Put your faith in God and look up to the sky. Jesus is my savior. We are just the empire. Trump is my president. But don't worry, guys. We are just the empire of lies now. I'm not like the Democrats. I don't say Biden's not my president. I know Biden really is the president, but I won't say he's not the president. He is the he's the greatest president we've ever had, and the most fair, safest election we've ever seen. He's really an amazing president. Are we out of the first 5 minutes of the stream, guys? What's up, Josh? Hey, I think I might mod you, bro. Hey, we got ads playing and stuff. I gotta stop that. Get that out of here. We don't want that. All right, what's up, playa? Play a bet. I'm chilling like a villain. There's something on my screen. What is that? It's too small. I can't see it. Anyway, so what's up, guys? How's everybody doing? So we got people in the chat, so we know that we are live. All right. So first things first, we've got a formula shortage in the country. There's no formula. Now, I'm going to preface this. I believe this is a manufactured problem. I believe that they're doing this on purpose. The same thing that happened with the toilet paper. They tell you go out and buy toilet paper because there's a giant plague coming that's going to wipe humanity off the face of the earth. You got to go out and get your toilet paper, guys. So they do the same thing with this baby. Well, with the baby formula, apparently it also has something to do with recalls, and also a Texas factory wasn't producing it. I don't know if that was the same thing as the recall. Let me know if you know in chat, but I'm doing pretty good. Just finished eating some s'mores. Yo, nice. Did you cook them the right way, or did you like microwave them and do it, the fake way? Did you have fire? Anyway, hold on. I might have to read chat after I get through thought chains, because otherwise I'll just keep breaking off and forgetting what I'm saying. But we're talking about the formula. So yeah, I think it's a manufacturing crisis, and I also think it was something that was manufactured to come at a very specific time, right after the Roe v. Wade leak. Now, you're gonna be like, Josh, why are you tying abortion and baby formula together? Well, I think that this encourages, you know, not family building. This is basically okay. So we can't kill the baby in the womb, so we have to have it. But now there's no formula. Now it's all these people who are all about reducing the population and the eugenicists basically. They they want to encourage people not to have more children. So if people know, well, I can't get an abortion in my state and there's no formula in my state, I'm definitely not going to have a kid, or I'm definitely going to fight to make sure that there's abortion in my state. I think they're tied together. About is how a lot of people are very passionate about this topic apparently, and I didn't know it was like that. I knew it was kind of a thing in the past. I've seen, people get kind of heated over baby formula, a little fire out back and everything. Nice, that's the way to do it. So, but I didn't know it was like this, and this isn't a political thing. It's not right or left, because I'm going to read some things from some people. I'm going to I'm not saying any names, guys. I'm not going to show your picture. I'm just going to read it off my phone, and I'm going to actually change it basically to my own words, but try to get the context of what you're saying, because I don't really want to. I don't even think some of you should be putting stuff like this up on Facebook about your family and stuff. But whatever. Who am I to judge? But anyway, so the general point here is we're going to get into a few things. We're going to talk about a. Should I start with? Yeah, we're going to do it that way first. We're actually going to start with the history before we get into the Facebook and the angry reactions of people and the inability of people to talk right. They don't know how to converse anymore with each other. I almost said conversate. That's not a word. We don't know how to converse with each other anymore. They don't teach the Socratic method in high school or college anymore, really. They just teach you communism. And so people don't know how to talk to each other. They don't know that there's these things called logical fallacies. And I know all the debate bros will always throw this, hey, you're using a logical fallacy. And every now and then, if you slip one in, if you're having a long form conversation with somebody, it's fine. But your first knee jerk reaction can't be, this is what happened to me, and you can't talk about it because you haven't experienced it. That's dumb, guys. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to roast you all because you can't do this. You can't talk to people like this. You have to show me. So here's my position. We're gonna preface all this with my position. Kids shouldn't be fed baby formula. That's my position. Okay. Now, I know this is another thing that we don't learn about non-quantitative and quantitative statements. It used to be understood if I said all dogs have hair, it used to be understood that I didn't mean that every single dog in the entire planet has hair, because I know that there's some dogs that might get shaved bald. There's some dogs that might have a weird defect where they don't grow hair. There's some dogs that might have this or that or the other and they don't grow hair. But it used to be understood that if I said all dogs have fur, you'd understand what I was saying, right? So when I say I don't think kids should be fed formula, I'm not arguing that formula should be outlawed. I'm not judging you if you ever used formula and saying you're going to hell or you need to be put in prison for the next 20 years. I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying in general, kids shouldn't be fed formula. They should be fed breast milk. So this all started because I posted a thing on Facebook. I said, darn, a formula shortage. If only God had given women a way to feed their children. Crying face, laughing face, something like that. I don't remember the emojis. We'll look it up here in a second. But if here's the problem with Facebook and like social media and stuff is you can't read tone into people's voices, or you try to, when you're reading something that somebody posts on Facebook, oftentimes people are going to try to read a tone into that in their head by how they think the person's talking. You know what I'm saying? And it causes problems because what I just said is not that controversial, guys. It's really not. It's not. God gave us boobies to feed the kids, okay? And we're gonna get into all of the whole problem with the world today, and how this one's problem, the way that people react to it, shows me that the world's losing its mind. The movie I rewatched Idiocracy the other night, and people during Trump's time, the Democrats would be like, the world is like idiocracy now. And they're referring to like an entertainer being the president and they think he was stupid, even though we see how who was doing a better job now in retrospect, right? God, who knew? Who knew that Trump was actually doing good things for the country? But anyway, what was I going? Oh, the movie Idiocracy. They have everybody drinking Gatorade out of water fountains, and if somebody says, "Hey, why aren't you drinking water?" Everybody's like, "Oh my God, burn him at the stake, kill this person." He just recommended that we feed babies off the titty. Oh my God, this guy is in trouble. So that's what we're gonna get into, guys. But first, we're gonna learn about what we're talking about. We gotta know a little bit something, right? Because I'm a man. I know I'm not allowed to have opinions on any of these things because I'm a man. But let's check this out. Bring this over here. Just 1 second, guys. All right. And this is all these sources can be found on Google. You just Google simple questions. That's again part of the Socratic method, is asking questions and not making logical fallacies, not making just, and you can do it all you want. I don't care. You can go ahead and make your fallacies and say I'm not allowed to talk about it because I'm a guy or whatever. But I don't know where I was going with that thought. Anyway, a concise history. Oh, you could do it, but you just don't look smart doing it, by the way. That's where I was getting at. A concise history of infant formula, twists and turns included. There's a whole lot here, guys, but we learned that basically it came out of Germany. It started in Germany in the late. Finding acceptable alternative to breast milk has proved to be a complicated quest that continues today with an ever-growing assortment of modified and specialized infant formulas. If a mature pediatrician, one older than 40 years, this is so boring, guys, from wet nursing to dry nursing. So we used to have wet nursing where mothers would basically feed the child. And I got to preface my argument. I never finished that. I'm not against formula, guys. I'm a capitalist. I like science. I like things that advance society and help us with our health and stuff. So when you're going to make, if I say I don't think kids should have formula, I'm not saying none of them ever. I'm saying if there's certain situations where they need it and we have this way to save those kids, then we should definitely use that. That's fine. But we're going to get more, once we get into the comments people made, I'll explain to you where the problem lies. But it's pretty simple, but like we really got to delve into these things apparently. During the 18th century in Europe, the demand for wet nurses was so great that bureaus were established where wet nurses could register and reside until their services were needed. Governments regulated the bureaus strictly. Laws mandated that wet nurses undergo routine health examinations and prohibited them from nursing more than one infant at a time. So basically, red tape and restrictions was causing problems. Now, this is in the old days. This is the 18th century, so there's a lot more disease that, going around and stuff like that. And I don't know. I'm not a doctor, guy, so I can't give medical advice on YouTube. So, but anyway, so none of this is medical advice. This is all just my opinion. Eventually, wet nursing fell out of favor, so I'm okay with wet nursing. I'm okay with that. And feeding babies milk from animals called dry nursing. So we were feeding them cow's milk, and then they found out the cow's milk had too much casein in it, which I didn't know what that was, but I guess it's kind of like creatine because cow milk has more protein and less vitamins probably than the kids probably don't need as much protein when they're young. So that makes sense. It's almost like there was some sort of crazy design to make that happen, but that we could just drink cow's milk and live, and orange juice, since there wasn't enough vitamin C in the cow's milk. Like, who would have thunk it? But that all happened in the 18th century. Now, rubber nipples became widely available. Elijah Pratt. Where does it talk about the German guy when it comes out? Oh, yeah. In 1838, a German scientist, Johann Franz Simon, published the first chemical analysis of human and cow's milk, which served as a basis for formula nutrition science for decades to follow. He discovered that cow's milk had a higher protein content and lower carbohydrate content than human milk. In addition, he and later investigators believed that the larger curds of cow's milk compared to small curds of human milk were responsible for the ingestibility of cow's milk. Empirically, physicians began to recommend that water, sugar, and cream be added to cow's milk to render it more digestible. So this is before pasteurization, which came later. And then they get pasteurization. Now, it's arguable that pasteurization is the reason why everybody's lactose intolerant today, and that pasteurization may not actually be a good thing. And it's not just me. Many physicians at the time were against pasteurization. But basically what happens is they come up with formula, and the formula companies control where's that at? Physicians take charge. In the late 19th century, many physicians thought that infant nutrition should be directed not by formula manufacturers, but by physicians themselves. Many believed that commercial formulas were nutritionally inadequate and therefore inappropriate for young infants. Now, if you don't think that's still happening today, then you're probably wrong. A lot of that formula is shipped overseas to us from China. If you don't think some of those countries are owned by China or wherever, I don't care. But the point is, and then maybe it's fine. Maybe it's totally fine to, what up, Lord Luca? Maybe it's totally fine shipped from China. Like maybe it doesn't have fentanyl in it. I don't know. But maybe it's totally healthy formula shipped from China. But still, a lot of these people's argument is that it's simpler to ship this stuff from across the ocean, make it out of all these chemicals, than for just a mother to breastfeed. And they know this. These people talk about this pasteurization and healthier milk. Arguable if it's healthy, but granted, I understand that I appreciate pasteurization because I'll buy a gallon of milk and keep it in my refrigerator. I don't have to go out and milk a cow every day. Convenience. We're going to talk about convenience shortly too. Convenience is an important word here. Simplicity, simple, easy, convenience. Let's remember that word. Big breakthrough, evaporated milk. So basically they'd boil the milk, they'd get all the water content out of it, and then they'd add sugar to it to make it preserve longer. But then it had a high sugar content. They were selling sweetened cream, evaporated milk, and they started feeding this to kids. And then they're like, oh, we shouldn't be giving kids all this sugar. Hey guys, do you remember? Oh, also Germany. Germany's awesome, guys. It's so cool that we got this from a German scientist. I'm German, guys, and nothing bad has ever come out of Germany. The thalidomide was awesome. I'm gonna stop. I'm sorry, Sue. I'm sorry, Sue. Hey. So baby formula, make your own almond milk. Ooh. Hey, almond milk is fire. I like to drink it, but isn't nuts and stuff high in soy? You probably know. I don't know. I just heard that like nuts, eating lots of nuts as a man for men, it's good for women, but aren't nuts and like grains and stuff high in soy? You know more than me about that stuff, but I love almond milk. It tastes great. I don't drink it every day. I think I want the protein. If maybe almond milk has higher protein content, then I haven't looked into any of that. But plus, it's more expensive, so that's really that's really the reason I don't drink almond milk. But it is good. It tastes real good. All right, you know what tastes like almond milk is just like milk with some creamer in it, like coffee creamer. Kind of tastes like almond milk. All right. Yeah. So we went through all that. So Germany, yeah, they gave us the thalidomide babies. They gave us formula. They gave us cloud seeding technology from the same people who gave us another, what's a safe word to use here? Another impactful event around that time. Really, soy, nuts and seeds, great for everyone. No soy. No soy. Nuts and seeds, great for everyone. No soy. Okay. All right. Well, then I think my only complaint with almond milk would be that it's expensive. But you said make your own almond milk. That sounds tough, bro. If I have too many hobbies as it is, everything that I could make my own, if I started making it on my own, I have to make everything, dude. I'd have to have beehives for honey. I have a little garden. Not this year. We haven't planted anything yet. We need to, but seeking humanized formula. So they come out. So by seeking a humanized formula, they come out with formula, and vegetable fat, it's fat blend derivative. So anyway, the point is not all formula is bad, guys. I don't think the formula is always bad. I think there's probably some that are not good. I think there's probably some from other countries. I think there's probably some that I don't know how safe that is. And I think it's much safer to feed your baby off the booby, if at all possible, and it's encouraged. Now, if your baby drinks a lot, maybe your baby's drinking too much. Maybe you need to feed that baby less. And I'm gonna be honest. I know there ain't a lot of men in some of these situations where these things happen. Um, a lot of the time, and I get it, but sometimes you need a man to be like, "Hey, put that baby on the titty," and then and then you need to have a man there to say, when the kid is 3 years old, you need to be at the most two or three guys, 2 or 3 ladies. I'm talking to you, ladies. Hey, let's get off of this. 2 or 3 years, ladies. We'll get more into that in a second, but you need, somebody needs to be there to say, "Hey, cut that out. We're not feeding this kid that." Okay. Next. Oh, sorry, I skipped ahead. So anyway, that's my argument: is kids shouldn't always be fed it, right? It's super convenient. It's super easy. That's a little history on it, but as I was researching, when so many people got upset about it, I had to look into what were the risks of baby formula. Is it safe? Is it not? Who knows? Let's look into it, guys. Let's find out. No more booby. Cut that booby off, mama. All right. Obstetrics. Hey, hold up. Do you have the latest Dragon Ball fighting game? It's called Dragon Ball Fighters, and I do have it on Switch and PC. Bruh, could I start an argument saying something about taking vitamins versus eating food with them already in it? No, you couldn't start an argument by saying that because that's common sense. Right. What, like, if I eat fruits and, some fruits and vegetables enough to get my vitamins, I don't need to take a supplement. Sorry if it took me so long. Type that out, putting my kid back to bed. Oh, that's okay, man. Take your time. I can't tell when you're typing it. What's up, Chauffeurax? Hey, we're about to learn about the risks of not breastfeeding for mothers and infants. It's almost like I have some sort of data to back up the things that I'm saying, and that it's actually a debatable. It's not like something crazy that I'm saying. You know what I have to say to all those people? Did it work? Did you guys hear that? I don't think it's working. Crap. Oh, we might have a problem with that. How about this? She says she's. You guys hear that? If you don't hear any sound clips playing, let me know in chat. Or if you do hear them, let me know in chat. Anyway, the risk of not breastfeeding for mothers and infant. Nice that game rocks. I love watching it. I don't have a next generation console. I love that game because before that, my favorite fighting game was Marvel vs. Capcom games. Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2 are amazing. And when Dragon Ball Fighters came out, it was the same. It's the same control scheme, same style of controls, the same way to do all the combos and the tricks. It's always rolling the D-pad or rolling the stick and hitting a button or a combination of buttons. It's just same control layout as Marvel vs. Capcom, but it's freaking Dragon Ball IP. Like, it was the most amazing thing ever. But I'm not that good at it. I kind of suck at it. You jump on there, you get whooped by 8-year-olds for too long, and it's like, I'm gonna play the story mode. Okay. Health outcomes. Okay, so it talks about how different countries suffer differently. For infants, not being breastfed is associated with an increased incidence of infectious morbidity, including otitis media, gastroenteritis, and pneumonia, as well as elevated risk of childhood obesity, type 1 and type 2 diabetes, leukemia, and sudden infant death syndrome, also known as SIDS. Among premature infants, so premature ones need it more. That almost sounds like common sense. For mothers, failure to breastfeed is associated with an increased incidence of premenopausal breast cancer, ovarian cancer, retained gestational weight gain, type 2 diabetes, and the metabolic syndrome. These are tough words, guys. I'm not a doctor. I'm just reading this. This is from a .gov website, so it's more reliable than a .com. Um, so yeah, and then you can go through this, and it just goes through a whole chain of them. So basically, I made my little post, just a little post. If only God had given women something to feed their children with, wouldn't the world be a better place? That's my argument. I play Naruto Storm Revolution on PS3. I don't really like Naruto. I never got into Naruto. I'm not an anime fan. I'm a Dragon Ball fan. I used to say I like anime because I liked Dragon Ball. And then I watched some anime and I realized I'm not an anime fan. There's some animes I like. I can watch a little bit of some like Gundam shows, or Cowboy Bebop is cool. Yu Yu Hakusho is sick. Inuyasha's okay. The popular ones are decent, but I haven't watched no Bleach or Naruto or One Piece or any of that. But when you get off into the weeds with anime, you find out there's a lot of crazy anime out there, guys. And I realize I don't like the majority of anime. I like Dragon Ball. So yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom was sick. So anyway, this post, I got 120 comments. I never get any interaction, guys, on Facebook. I'm just putting random stuff up there, videos and stuff, mostly my own content. So people should know uh, what's happening. But we're gonna read some of these. I'm not gonna read them word for word or say any names, but it started out really smooth. It started out nice. I breastfed for years. It's not as simple as it may seem. LOL. That's a nice comment, and I get it. But the key word there is simple, and we're going to come back to that: convenience, the magic word of the day. I tried to type Yu Yu before you said it. Yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho is sick. Spirit Cannon. Okay, that was kind of lame. Anyway, but yeah, my only reaction to that comment is breastfeeding is not as simple as it may seem. What's not as simple as it may seem is making a bunch of scientists getting together, researching, doing data, coming up with this chemical formula that will substantiate children as good as natural breast milk, which God made for them to drink. And then they have to market it, and then they have to, what's the word? Box it, contain it. They have to do that. They have to ship it to wherever it's going, over trucks and over land, and then it lands at a store shelf, and then you go into the store and you buy it from the store. So we have to have a system of trading, and so this is a capitalist thing, honestly. But and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with formula. We'll get to why the main problem. I still haven't even hit it yet, guys. So yeah, what's more simpler? I think that's simpler than everything I just said combined. So, but that is I get it. And it was nice. It was a nice comment. So I'm totally cool with that. Now this one, uh, this person knows what they're talking about, and they seem nice, and their comments were fine. I'm gonna read it because they seem like an authority on the issue. So, they will know what they're talking about more than I do. But it says, well, I'm not disagreeing with you as a breastfeeding mother and a lactation counselor, which, I didn't know they even had counselors for that. It's not easy, and it doesn't matter what they do. They can't make enough milk for their babies, and they hate themselves for it. Okay, so that's a good argument. So you didn't make a anecdote because, well, it is an anecdote, but you have data for it because you're in that field. So that's excusable because you didn't even go through that. We'll get into the main problem, which is the anecdotes and the appeals to authority soon. And then, but I'm sure you have studies, and you're saying this based on like statistics. They're basically, what you're saying is some women can't breastfeed, or some babies don't. They can't take the milk. The milk doesn't work for them. That's what you're saying. I get that. I get that argument, and um, and I think formula is okay, and they should have it. For those situations. There are some babies that, yeah, you said that, or I said that. It would be nice for moms to come together and maybe donate more human milk to each other, though, It sounds weird. No, it doesn't sound weird at all. It sounds fine. That's wet nursing. And what is that, outlawed or something? That's something that I didn't find in all of my research. So let me know, guys. But is like wet nursing outlawed or something now? Why can't you do that? What's stopping women from still doing that? Are they just selfish now and they don't want to give up their milk because they know there's formula on the shelves? Dun dun dun. Anyway, anyway, so that was a good comment. She was reasonable and she made good points. Um, then we get this one. Okay, so and this guy's cool, guys. I know a lot of these people personally. I talked to them, but we're just, some of them are on the left, some of them are on the right, some of them are from some places, some of them are from other places. It's just to show like the consensus of what people are saying about this. So, and I don't even want to be. Basically, he says my son was born premature. We needed something with more calories to get him big faster. And then he said, when you have children, you will understand this concept better. So, okay, bro, I feel for you, and I'm sorry that happened. Well, I'll be honest. I'm gonna sound heartless. Well, whatever. You can't be empathetic or sympathetic without being pathetic. I don't feel sorry for you, but I'm glad, I'm happy, I'm joyful that you that he's fine now. I know your son, he's a healthy kid, so and he's big and strong. So I'm glad and joyful that you had that formula there and it helped for the situation. That's awesome. But here's the roast. The roast is not about your life situation. The roast, I'm not saying you're a bad person for giving your kid formula because he needed to have formula. That's fine. I'm okay with that. My point, my only gripe here, only reason I'm roasting you here is because, first off, if my position is kids shouldn't drink formula and you want to beat my position, you can't tell me some experience you had, your life experience, and then tell me that I can't talk about it because I haven't experienced it. That's the same argument that so many of these people make in all of these conversations, whether it be abortion, whether it be baby formula, whatever you're talking about, economics, anything, they're going to say, this is what happened to me and you haven't been there, so you can't talk about it, guys. Okay, so here's how you beat an appeal to authority. Our appeal to authority is basically saying you can't talk about it because you don't know about this. Or it's also, here's an example of appeal to authority. If you ask me, is God real? I'm not going to start telling you why God's real from the Bible because you don't believe the Bible. You don't believe in God. So why would I start preaching the Bible to you to tell you that God's real? Now, first off, I can't prove to anybody that God's real. But if you ask me what my proof is for why God's real, I wouldn't go to the Bible. I would go to the outside. I would just go, we talked about it in last week's episode. Watch it if you haven't seen it. Breastfeeding, Lady Irma. What's up, Lady Irma? I've seen you in all the chats. That's one of the lords and ladies of the chat are up in my chat. That's nice. Breastfeeding is the natural food for babies. Very simple, always ready. Formula is poisoning the baby. Nothing can replace nature. Nothing can't replace. Right. I think I know what you're saying. Nothing. Formula can't replace nature. Right. Basic facts. Okay, but anyway, so appeals to authority. Don't tell me your life story and don't tell me I can't talk about it because of this. Listen, I don't go around kicking dogs in the head, okay? And I will tell you, you should not kick a dog in the head. Don't kick dogs in the head. You can't come at me and say, well, one time I was walking down the road and a pit bull came and it was biting on my leg and I was bleeding and I had to start punching it and kicking it and beating it down and I ended up killing the pit bull. And so, yes, sometimes you can kick pit bulls and you don't know about it because you never had a pit bull latched to your ankle. Listen, that's what these people do. That's what you guys are doing. You can't do that. You got to stop it. You got to end that. Hold up. My door's open. The dog got out. I know he's going to come busting in the door again. I promise. He'll leave. I don't even know how he got it. I don't even know how it got open. What the? It's probably because the swamp cooler's on. But yeah. So guys, I understand you had your situations. I understand life is tough. Things happen, okay? But if you're gonna, I'm gonna give you the arguments that you can make, and some of these people made them. The arguments are, well, some kids are unhealthy, and we have these studies that show that this many kids have benefited from it. And I would say, okay, that's good. Those kids should get formula. Some mothers can't breastfeed. It's 1 to 5%. 1 to 5% of mothers cannot lactate when they have a baby. Okay, I say those 1 to 5% of mothers definitely need to get their formula for their babies. Okay, so this is not controversial. The problem is the first comment. It's simpler, the convenience. So, and the problem is the formula companies, they want to make money, they want to make profit. So, when the 1 to 5% of mothers don't have to breastfeed their kids, or I'm sorry, they may want, that, whatever. It sounded mean, but what I'm saying is they would breastfeed their kids, but they can't. The 1 to 5% of mothers who cannot feed their kids, or the whatever percent of kids that cannot live off that breast milk, when they start getting the formula, the other mothers see it, and the company wants to make money, so the company stocks the shelves with it, and the other mothers are like, this is amazing. This is the newest, coolest thing I've ever seen. I don't have to freaking feed my kid. I don't have to pump and have it sucking on my boobie all the time. Echo? Yeah, Echo's, he left. He's gonna come back at some point. You'll hear boom, and he'll just barge in. Um, but it's a convenience thing, guys. It's a convenience, and this is like similar to everything. Even you see it all over the world, like um, all kinds of examples with the pot. You make pot easier to get, everybody becomes a pothead. It used to be an exclusive group of people. We were the stoners, we were the cool kids, we were the potheads. Now everybody's freaking smoking pot. Mom and dad are smoking pot on the back porch while the kids are smoking pot in the bedroom, and it's on the corners, and you know you see it everywhere. That's just one example. But basically, it's ease of, oh, why am I gonna have the baby? It's easier if I could just freaking abort it. I don't have the money for it. I don't have the time for it. I'm doing this, that, or the other. It's all about convenience. Convenience. It's self-serving. It's satanic. It's basically whatever. Do as thou wilt. Basically, it's or Aleister Crowley. That's the name. Is that a name? Aleister. You guys might know who I'm talking about. The Satanist person. It's satanic. It's self-worship. It's self-pleasure. Everything is about making things easier and more convenient for yourself. And it it's crazy. And the world's just going crazy. People are like getting upset about it. so so far, everything's been pretty fine. My fiance struggled. I personally never realized that it's not as simple as it seems. So this whole argument in this feed is basically kids are hard. Kids are hard. Feed them formula. Now I don't know his situation. He probably goes on to some anecdote about his life, and that's awesome. I mean, that's not awesome. It's cool. You have a story. I get it. Everybody's got a story. We have already talked about this. Next comment: breastfeeding is a pain in the ass. So this is a homeboy of mine from when I was younger. I haven't seen him in like over a decade. Hopefully he jumps into the chat or watches this VOD. But he came in calm in the beginning of the day, because I posted this like when I woke up before work, and then all day during work I'm just seeing people and I'm just reacting to them. And I hate being mobile only. Accessibility. There's such a big. I hate being mobile only. There's such lag. I think there's naturally. Oh yeah, so your comments, I'm not exactly sure what you're referring to because of the lag. Lady Irma in the chat. Lady Irma got them facts. Lady Irma knows what's up. So yeah, this guy came in chill and it was all fine. But then he like out of the blue, I got people saying opinions are fine. Just kind of seemed a little aggressive towards the women. It's not their fault. Our government is knowingly, intentionally fucking with us. Well, they're the mothers, so it kind of is our government. Our government is doing that to us because we let it happen. It's not just the women's fault; it's the men's fault. Weak women and what did I just say? Weak men. There's weak men, and then there's women who are basically taking over everything, and they need a little guidance. They need a little bit of the guidance from the men. See, I'll get called misogynist. I'll take the shots for you, buddy. I'll get called a misogynist and a woman hater because I believe in God and I follow God's order, which is in the Bible, which is basically women are not supposed to lead men. Men are supposed to lead women. Women are irrational and emotional, and that's why we get anecdotes and appeals to authority, which the men are making too, and sounded just like women. And so then he says, this post is beta as F. Stop pontificating on Western values and just go enact them. First off, buddy, I'm not pontificating on Western values. I did it one time. I was a fan of the Proud Boys when they first came out because their whole thing was about being Western chauvinists. And this was when I thought the West was still savable. The West is not savable. I don't even know if I consider myself a conservative anymore. The show is called Dreaded Conservative because I'm a conservative. I'm classical conservative, but there's really nothing left to conserve. Jeff Younger talked about this in an interview recently. He's running for, I think, Senate in Texas. That's so true. It's about money. Some women get lazy too. We only produce milk after pregnancy. That means for the baby. It's that simple. Yeah, it's basic. We need real alpha men to lead like Trump. Yep. I don't know. Trump's lately been doing some things that I'm not so great with, but I still think he is definitely the strongest and most the best choice. He's the best thing we got, and I don't want DeSantis to leave Florida. I think DeSantis stays in Florida. Trump runs again and wins, but unfortunately, he's basically just gets 4 years to undo everything that he just undid with his last 4 years. So he can't make progress how he should be when an incumbent comes in. Like, you build up for 4 years, and then your second 4 years, you start knocking it out. But they put, dude, it's horrible. But we're not. I don't know. I don't really want to get too much into Trump today. Try to stay on topic with this. But yeah, I think he's the best choice. But he does do some things I'm not quite fond of. But I'm not one of those people that I don't worship Trump. I worship God, and that's it. So. But yeah, he called my post beta. Look, you can't come to my post using my words. I use the word beta. I don't think you know what a beta and an alpha is. When I talk about beta and alpha, first off, I don't call myself alpha, because that would mean I have ego and think I'm an alpha, which means I'm not an alpha. You have to just live your life and show people, what it is to be an alpha, and then they'll call you an alpha if you are one. But I don't call myself an alpha, but when I talk about alpha and beta, I'm not talking about the animalistic way that you think of it. I'm not talking about wolves and packs. I'm talking about God was the alpha and the omega. The first times we hear about alpha and omega is in the bibliotech. It's in the Bible. It's God. He is the alpha and the omega. There may be older examples of the word being used in ancient Greek, but I don't know where they are. I haven't read them. So anyway, I don't know why this guy got heated all of a sudden. It's like he was drinking all day and just reading, or he was just stewing. I'm sorry, bro. Or you just stewing on my post. But yes, I'm not about, that's what I was saying. I'm not about Western ideals anymore. That was a biblical question on JLP the other day. It was, what does Western culture stand for? And his answer was what Western culture ideally should stand for and used to stand for, but it is not what Western culture stands for. Currently, the song I played at the beginning of the stream from our boy Tyson is what current Western culture is. We are the empire of lies, as coined by Putin. Putin called America the empire of lies, and that is what we are. We stand for everything wrong and nothing right. So when you call a post about a man telling women, hey, you should probably not feed your kids that stuff, you should probably feed them breast milk, I don't know how that's beta. I think your response to it is actually what's beta, honestly. And yeah, so anyway, we got some more. We got what was this one? Okay. Yeah, but then he said I was berating people. Yo, I was the one getting berated. Nobody was berated. Okay, this person tells me a big giant anecdote. I personally produced way too much milk and my boobs were engorged. That's not what she said, but that's how I just feel like reading it. They were huge rock hard melons. Yo, why are you putting this on some guy on Facebook's page who just made a comment? Dude, this doesn't make sense to me. But basically, she goes into depth. Oh man, she really goes into depth. Cracking and soaring. Cracking and soaring. Soaring, spelled like a sore, S-O-R-E. I don't even know if that's a word though. Cracking and soaring. Ew, it just sounds gross. We all have masculine and feminine. We all connected to God, to the universe. Yeah, I don't think so. But I kind of disagree with that, Lady Irma. But anyway, that's not the topic today. You could call in on Discord and tell me that, Lady Irma, because I would kind of disagree with you. I don't think that men should have a feminine side to them. I think that's due to conditioning by the world. You're right. Well, you're right. We all do have that, but we should overcome that if we have that. So, Lady Irma, breastfeeding is so natural, close relationship with your baby, a wonderful feeling, pure love to your child. Facts, dude. I was reading that like the nipple and the baby's saliva communicate with each other. Somebody said that in this chat, and then I read it also when I was doing the research. Because guys, these things that I'm putting up are like the first top Google searches, but trust me that I read more stuff and then I pick out whatever's the best and I kind of just skim through it. But um yeah, this person who told me they don't want me to mention anything about him on the thing, but basically I'm gonna have to do it because you said don't do it. I'm gonna have to say something. Said they've been breastfeeding for 8 years with two kids, basically like 4 years and 4 years, or 3 years and then a little break and then another kid. And so here's the thing: I am pro breastfeeding, but I don't think you should be doing it. And this was popularized by Time magazine. I don't think you should be doing it till the kid's 5 years old. And I know you, I know you didn't breastfeed them till they were 5. I think 2 to 3 is right. According to the World Health Organization, it's 2 or after is what they said. You should start weaning them off as soon as 6 months, and then by 2 or after is all it says. Now I think in the old days it probably just said till 2 or 3, but now it just says till 2 or after. And Time Magazine did an article a long time ago. I wonder if I can find it. Time Magazine, breastfeeding, cover 2012. Yeah. This is it, guys. Yo, this is crazy. Can I show this? I should be allowed to show this. Screen share TV. So this is Time Magazine 2012. This is basically an article they wrote about how some of these moms are breastfeeding their kids until they're like 7 years old. And it was multiple covers. These are different women. Guys, I don't know if this is appropriate, but it is a beautiful thing. It's a gift from God, and I appreciate it. But, yo, somebody got to get that baby off the boobie. Somebody got to handle that. Where are the men? Guys, you got to get them. You got to, by like 3, that's where the kid's going to turn from the mother to nurturing to the father for nurturing. And, oh, Lord. Of course, when you make a post like that, they all come out the woodwork and want to put in their 2 cents in. I know, but I just couldn't believe they were getting so mad at me. And these are people I know, so this isn't a political thing. But I make a lot of crazy posts, bro, and people don't come like that. Like, they got heated over. The only people who get as mad as the formula people. I'm just kidding. I know a lot of you guys weren't mad. And again, we talked about this earlier about reading tones into social media. So these people could be totally joking with me, and that's fine. So, but I'm reading it with the tone I read it in because it makes it fun. But basically, this girl said, yeah, she was breastfeeding her kids for a long time. And I was like, dang. Okay, but then this one. Okay, this person came in hot. We're almost done with this, guys. We're almost done. We got 2 more things to read. Okay, so this said, okay, so here's my question. Starting out, awesome. This is perfect. This is how you start out a conversation with somebody. This is the Socratic method. Okay, here's my question. And I genuinely want your take here because you're posting conflicting ideology, and I was going to keep my mouth shut, but I really just can't. Caps, all caps. So here goes. You're against abortion, right? Yeah, I'm against killing babies. All right. So if I find out in utero my baby will have a cleft palate due to genital disorder, anecdote, but NCIU care for months after birth, surgeries, medication, calories, all preventing more than willing mother from breastfeeding. What are your opinion? Things you have the baby born weeks or amount of milk has come out. What do you discharge? Blah, 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 blah. You could have made this very succinct and just said, hey, what if I have some sort of medical condition where my baby needs formula? And then I would have answered, right? I would have answered. I would have said, that's fine. Give them formula. It's not a big deal. But it continues. Now, that was a really long thing. I skipped a lot of it, but it continues on. Just a thought. Maybe you shouldn't have such a strong opinion about something you have no personal experience with. Okay, so first we got the anecdotes, then we got the appeal to authority. I'm not allowed to talk about it because I haven't experienced it. This is so stupid. I hope you never tell anybody they shouldn't commit murder unless you've committed murder before. Like, come on. Let's. I know you're smarter than that. So just a thought. Maybe I can't imagine living in the woods doing what I needed to survive. Just like you can't imagine the things you'd be willing to try if your kid's life depended on it. I wouldn't expect you to take advice of an amateur. You'll have to excuse me while I shrug you off for your inexperience. Okay, well, I'd like to shrug you off for not knowing what an appeal to authority is and not knowing how to communicate with people, because that's not how we talk. That's not how humans communicate. We don't just say you're wrong because you haven't experienced it. That's stupid. It's just dumb. Sorry. So, but you're nice. You're a nice person. I like you. I'm not gonna say your name, but I like you. I just think that you should all I made was a joke saying that God made boobies for women to feed their kids. And you got emotional and went into a long tirade about your personal experience, your anecdotes, which, although that's horrible, I'm glad you overcame it. That's awesome. I don't think you're going to hell for having to feed your kid formula. I don't think you should go to prison for it. I don't think you're a bad person. I'm not judging you for it. I'm just saying that I don't think kids should be put on formula over breast milk. It's really simple. You're the one who, yeah, anyway. Anyway, then I posted higher risk of asthma, higher risk of diabetes, death by disease, SIDS, allergies, lung disease, and higher risk of low intelligence. Now, this is a conflicting study. There are conflicting studies on this, but some studies show, I believe it's like the Ohio I don't know what it was called, but I found it. It did say lower IQ from formula. And now, so we see, as with many things over generations, people, so it's a convenience thing. The women who have to use the formula are using the formula. The other women see them, so the other women won't use the formula because it's easier. It seems, good idea. Use the formula. It's simpler. And over time, people get conditioned to this, and the companies are making huge amounts of money on it. And there's no men to come around and say, hey, cut that out. And basically, the population just gets dumber and dumber and dumber. And that's what I'm trying to stop. But I'm not about Western culture or anything like that. I'm about God, Christ, the Christian God. Yeah, I'm a son of God. I'm a brother of Jesus. So, I'm not, and I don't know how that's a conflicting argument, that I'm against abortion and I'm against feeding kids chemicals from China. How is that a conflicting argument? You can't inject chemicals into a kid's head to kill it. And you can't feed kids chemicals to slowly kill them after they come out of the womb by destroying generations, so that, before long, everybody's just a bunch of troglodyte mutants. So I'm sorry if that seems conflicting to you, then maybe you should reevaluate things. I don't know. And I think that's about it. That's about it for that. So yeah, Facebook people got big mad. One person said, start stimulating your nipples and try to make your body produce milk and let me know how much success you could get. And I said, start? When did I stop? Bro. What you talking about? Hey, my mom didn't feed me with breastfeeding. Yeah, we can kind of tell, show fresh. I'm just playing, bro. Hey, and I'll be honest, I probably was on some formula too, and I understand too. Also, a little bit of formula and I think in the beginning for the first 6 months, which is the same thing that the World Health Organization thinks, so we agree on that, which we don't agree on some things, but for the first 6 months, it should be pure breast milk. And then over the next year and a half until the kid's 2 years old, you should start, weaning them, getting them on, they can drink some cow milk and then if the woman can't lactate, some people were in the comments of my thing were saying wet nurses need to come back, which again, if anybody knows in the chat, is wet nurses like outlawed, or is it just because women won't do it? Like, because what about all these women who are having abortions? Why can't they, like, maybe if since we're not going to be able to completely stop abortions, maybe we work on trying to push a thing where if you're going to get an abortion, you have to sign a thing that says you'll donate your breast milk for 6 months after you get the abortion. Is that possible? Do girls who get abortions end up lactating, or is that only with like late term abortions, which we would want to get rid of those completely? So, if that's the case, but yeah, so what's the deal with the wet nursing thing? Let's read some chats. Ghosts like that. OFC, when you make a post like that. Oh, I don't know why that's highlighted. Baby, that's a full-blown kid. You talking about the pictures I was showing? Damn. I don't hope I don't get hit. They were all blurred out, right? They were all blurred out, or they had a baby face in front of them. Somebody shared a picture of Bulma breastfeeding Trunks. It's like future Bulma with a gun in her hand, and she's breastfeeding baby Trunks, and it's like ready for battle. It's a cool looking picture, but and I commented, "You can't go Super Saiyan on formula." Bulma knew what was up. My sister, Ether, and she got asthma. My sister either, and she got asthma, and it's expensive AF. Yeah, that sucks. Nope. And the problem is so start, and this is like 60, 100 and what, 1840. Well, this is like hundreds of years in the making. Somebody made that argument that, why are you mad about something that we've been doing for 100 years? Like, how is that? That's the problem, dude. If we hadn't been doing this for so long. And then he said, your post first, you post about abortion like a week ago, then you post about this now. It's almost and why are you saying these things? And I was like, it's almost like I'm posting about what's in the news right now. Duh, these are the hot button issues in the news. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I do. That's pretty obvious. What a dumb question. But anyway, sorry, we're talking about the guy who called me beta. I'm just, you don't get let off the hook for that. You call me beta. You're sitting here saying, why am I arguing something that's been happening for 100 years? Just let it go. No, maybe it shouldn't have been happening for 100 years. And now we wouldn't have whole generations of children that have been fed formula by parents that were fed formula, by grandparents that were fed formula. And everybody is just, well, I'll let you fill in the blank there. Everybody is, look around you. Oh, man. Okay. But let's play a song. Let's play something funny, and then we will get into our next topic. It's pretty intense. I don't know. Let's find something funny to watch. My brother sent me this the other day. It's pretty funny. I'm going to kind of have to start it and stop it. Well, we've already played the full Tyson James video, so he'll catch the copyright on that piece. So this is Trump speed dating from Shane Gillis. His YouTube channel is called Gillian Keeves. Pretty funny.
Each of you is going to meet for about 3 minutes. Then you're going to hear
kind of inappropriate if you're a kid. You've got kids in the room.
And when that goes off, we're going to move.
This
to
is
the
kind
next
of adult.
table. Ready to find some love? Tana.
What are you doing here?
I was asked
Tana
to
kinda
speak at this
bad.
hotel. It
Tana
turns out there's
bad.
some type of pussy banquet going on.
Can you hold 1 second? Just give me a second.
Hold on. What's wrong with this?
What are you doing here?
I was asked to speak at this hotel. It turns out there's some type of pussy banquet going on.
Can you hold 1 second? Just give me a second.
Fuck you, you fucking piece of shit, ugly, fat, orange, fuck.
Social media. They had to take it away. I was too good. In fact, go ahead, put it back up. Put it back up. People say I've got bad makeup. Tana looks like someone painted her face like a clown. That's what we're gonna call her. Tana, it the clown. She looks like him. She looks like she should be in a sewer, bothering children.
She looks like she should be in a sewer, bothering children. Yo, this guy killing it. It clown. She looks like she should be in a sewer, bothering children. Let's keep it rolling.
You
Anybody
are
ever seen
utterly
this? Chad, you see
disgusting.
this?
I'm disgusting. I saw you walk in. I said, "Who's this? Is this a pig?" I didn't know they were letting pigs in.
You're a dictator.
Old Sage, what a loser. What a loser she was. Somebody needs to tell her that her pussy stinks. When you walked in, I could practically smell you. Your vagina stinks. Smelled up
What?
the whole room.
No one here is gonna go on a date with you.
There'll be no problem there. I'll get a date. There's gonna be so many dates. People, whoa, this guy has so many dates. You, none. I don't even need a date, but
None. Yo, it stinks in here.
I'll get a date if I want a date.
I'll get
You
a
can go
date.
on Tinder. Have you heard of this? There's Tinder. You go beep boop
Beep, boop,
bop,
beep.
and there's pussy.
Beep bop boop. Hey,
This is
this guy
pretty
called me
exciting.
an
I've
incel
never been on a
basically,
date with
too.
a white guy before.
Hit the buzzer.
I mean, I'm just wondering
the
what it
buzzer.
would be like with something a little
Hold on.
smaller.
Let me stop you there, Elaine.
I don't. This is pretty exciting. I've never been on a date with a white guy before.
Hit the buzzer.
I mean, I'm just wondering what it would be like with something a little smaller.
Let me stop you there, Elaine.
I don't know who sat in this chair before me. It stinks.
I told her.
Any interest?
You're gay.
Hey, blame the dairy industry.
Bruce.
I would never
Blame the
suck a
dairy
guy's
industry,
dick.
guys.
But if
What I
did,
say?
it'd be one of the best sucks
You heard what I
he's
said,
ever had.
right? About
Few years
pasteurization.
ago, women would have the flat butts. Now
He said, hold on. He said, you're gay. Blame the dairy industry. Blame Louis Pasteur.
Hey, blame the dairy industry.
I would never suck a guy's dick. But if I did, it'd be one of the best sucks he's ever had. A few years ago, women would have the flat butts. Not you. You've got a very nice one.
Thank you.
You know, I polled very well with the blacks. How am I polling with you?
Oh, my God.
I saw you come in. I said, that's the one.
That's
the belle
the
of
one.
the ball. You're the prettiest one.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you here. I'm not that interested in
You're the ugliest.
You're the
Do me a
ugliest.
favor. Could you take your gigantic perfect tits and leave?
Take your
I don't
gigantic,
recall saying
perfect
I would get
breast
a date
milk
here, but if I did say that,
worthy
maybe I will.
tits and leave.
Oh my
I'm sorry,
God.
ladies in the chat. This
Hello.
is funny. She about to get it.
Oh my
Do
God.
you like my shirt? I got it dyed at the special at the tackle shop. There's a 2-for-1 at the tackle.
2 for 1 at the tackle. There's a special at the tackle shop. 2 for 1 at the tackle. This lady's awesome.
At the tackle shop, the bait and tackle. I can get you one. It's 2-for-1.
Wow.
How are you, Mr. President?
Well,
I'm great, especially since you exposed all the Jews that were putting 5G in my brain that wanted the meth.
Since you can expose all the J words, we're putting 5G in my brain and wanted the meth. Is that what she said? I can't say the J word, guys. I haven't experienced it.
Since you exposed all the Jews that were putting 5G in my brain that wanted the meth.
how are you at oral sex?
Pretty good, to be honest. My teeth come out.
My teeth
Siobhan?
come out.
How would you like to go on a date with Donald Trump?
Yes, finally. Oh my God, I won. Did I win?
Did I win? And then he says I got head. Okay, sorry. It's a little inappropriate. I know. It's okay. It's all right. Just bad words. We're laughing. It's jokes. Alrighty then. What's next on the list? Next on the list is let's see here. And then I will have to take a short quick break. And then I'll play a song while I'm on the break. Let's see, what do I want to play while I'm on the break? Actually, let's get into this. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. All right. Now, next, Twitch streamer gone wild. We had a Twitch streamer go on a killing spree, a rampage, as it's commonly referred to in Twitch streaming community. But this was not your typical gaming killing spree or rampage. So what we've got here is from CNN. We're going to check this out. And then we've got one other clip. Here we go. Peyton Gendron. Let's see if this is even going to play.
Excuse me. State your appearances for the record.
Gary Hackbush on
from
behalf of the
CNN.
people, and Brian Parker on behalf of Mr. Gendron.
Mr. Ginjon, you've been charged with multiple counts of murder in the first degree, contrary to section 125-27 of the penal law. There should be a copy of this
This is
charges
just
in
him
front
in
of you. You
court, so
understand
we
that,
haven't
sir?
even... Okay, I thought this was
Yes,
something
sir.
different. No, this is the one I wanted to see. Anyway, from CNN, let's actually do the video first. So this is a clip I took from JLP, who took it from ABC News. We'll just show this because it's better than then we'll read the CNN article.
Graduated, his parents both engineers from the state of New York, throwing him a party under a big tent on the lawn of their home. He enrolled at Broome Community College. But at the same time, if his online screed is to be believed, the alleged teenage gunman was planning his attack for years. His young mind consumed with racist, anti-Semitic, and anti-immigrant messages he found on the internet.
This event was committed by a sick,
Attorney General
demented
Letitia
individual who has fueled a
James.
daily diet of hate.
In the document, Gendron embraces the white supremacist theory known as the Great Replacement, the racist belief that white people in the U.S. will eventually be replaced by people of color. Gendron allegedly scoping out a target where he could find and kill black people, acquiring an arsenal. One gun a gift from his father, another purchased legally from a store.
So that's something that okay, so we're talking about basically the Buffalo Peyton Gendron shooting. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I didn't even hear about it till I think yesterday or Saturday. I heard about it Saturday night. I haven't really looked into it, so this is a lot of this is like my kind of first reactions, but then they talked about it on JLP this morning, so he took this from ABC. I took the clip from him. But turns out there was multiple shootings this weekend. It wasn't just this one. And as is typical, you know, there's one that they focus on, and basically they're making it a race thing, which I know the guy had a manifesto, so it is about race. It is about race. Okay, yeah, I think the dude's crazy, and I think that I'd actually like to read the manifesto. We're gonna see if we can find it, because a lot of these people are just obviously crazy, but then some of them are actually pretty intelligent, and what they're saying isn't actually wrong. I gotta be careful here, guys. We don't want to get AJ'd. I'm not gonna be sharing no conspiracy theories. I've seen some conspiracy theories already about how there's actually no video of the shooting that you can find, only still shots. But anyway, no, we're not gonna. I don't care about that. I think that's dumb. I believe it happened, and I believe he wrote a manifesto, and I believe he, I believe he hated black people. I believe that, but I don't think he was a racist. I think he basically, I don't consider it racist. It's not because of the color of his skin. He's been conditioned to think a certain way his whole life, and he's crazy. But I'm already seeing conflicting things. So, whenever this happens, you gotta let it simmer for a little while, because the first thing that I read said that the guns were bought illegally in New York, but this report from ABC says one gun, a gift from his father, another purchase from a store in Pennsylvania. So we've already got conflicting reports. So, I'm not gonna assume to know anything about this, but I would like to read the manifesto, just because, and anybody who thinks that it's weird for me to be interested in like mass shootings and stuff, women love serial killer shows on Netflix. The most popular shows are serial killers. So, it's really not it's interesting to learn about this stuff and why these people did the thing they did. And somebody who is really shallow and doesn't think very deeply or philosophically will just say it's racism. He's a white supremacist. That's stupid. That's like real shallow thinking. You need to get deeper. You need to go to the root of things. And so let's finish watching
in
this.
Pennsylvania. The owner of Vintage Firearms in Endicott, New York, not far from Gendron's home, says he legally sold the 18-year-old the Bushmaster semi-automatic rifle used in the attack just a few months ago. A source telling ABC News the killer wrote racist slurs on that gun, as well as the names of previous mass shooters.
Amazing. There's the boy. There's the boy. Okay, let's go back to... Let's drop that out. So here's what we know from CNN. Buffalo supermarket shooting. 18-year-old man who allegedly shot and killed 10 people in Buffalo, New York on Saturday afternoon was motivated by hate. Authorities said motivated by... This is dumb. So what they're going to do, they're going to charge it as a hate crime. Now, I think this guy should be put to death. If it's true that he is the guy who did it and he streamed it live on Twitch, apparently. That's what we're being told. But I think he should be killed. It's not, well, I think if death penalty is legal in the state that he's in, he should get the death penalty. But I'm not going to be the one putting him to death. Like, that's not my responsibility. But if our government has a valid and a just death penalty, I'm okay with the death penalty because, I'm not the one judging them and sentencing them to death. But if the government wants to do that because they commit a crime, they break man's laws, then the government can put them to death. And I think this guy should be put to death for that. So that aside, so already we got it covered. I don't think this guy is good anyway. I don't think that, nothing like that, because I know people will try to take this and they'll be like, oh, well, this guy was talking about replacement theory and Josh was talking about replacement theory on his show last week. And they'll be like, my wife is one of those women. Not sure which one you're talking about. The women that, not sure what you're talking about. I need to stay up on chats and read them a little more, but the 18-year-old man who allegedly shot and killed, see, they're still saying allegedly, so, whoops, I didn't mean to click that. Suspects, top mark, all were black. 11 of the 13 people shot by white suspect were black. Among the victims, ranging age from 20 to 86. So he went to a Target to shoot people who were black, and he wrote racist stuff all over the gun. He also wrote something on the gun, I heard, from someone who I'm not going to talk about it because I can't remember off the top of my head. I don't know if we can find it in here, but he wrote a quote from basically a woman who I'm not going to, I'd have to find it, but suspect shot 4 people outside the grocery store, used an assault weapon, the suspect used an assault weapon. Guys, if I stab somebody with a fork, I stab them with an assault fork. Stupid. There's no such thing as an assault weapon. Anyway, I wonder if it was automatic or semi-automatic. They'll just call it assault weapon. It's so dumb. He planned to continue his rampage. Authorities say when this is real, like, I don't feel anything for the victims, but this is a horrible thing that happened. Watches the serial killer show, spelled wrong on purpose for people. Oh, yeah. Like everybody, I like serial killer shows. I like watching like Law and Order shows and stuff and learning about this and why these people do this. It's very similar to Dylan Ruth. He basically is looking at the world around him, and we're being told constantly. And I understand the anger. I don't get angry about it. I don't feel this anger, but I understand his anger because when you see it in yourself, you can see it in the people around you and other people. And I understand that, guys, they're telling young white guys that they're the white devil, that we're the demon. They're teaching this to kids in schools. They're having kids line up and apologize to all the black kids. Well, no, not even to the black, to the POCs, to the people of color, which POC means not white, basically. And these are the people who are all about equality, and they claim to be all about inclusion, and they're all about a diversity, but they're not about that when it comes to white people. And because in reality, they're not about any of those things. Those are all stupid words that socialists and Marxists use, and they're actually just about Marxism. They think the white man is the oppressor, so they got to bring up the marginalized. You turn the marginalized against the majority, or you turn the minority against the majority, and you convince the minority that the majority doesn't work for the better good of them, and or convince the minority that the majority should work for the better good of them. So like it's the majority's responsibility to take care of the minority is basically, this is socialism, this is Marxism, this is all these things that we always are brought back to. And I also, but what's interesting is the media, this is the media's wet dream. The media is hype right now. They're like, yes, we finally got one. We finally got one. We've been telling them about the white supremacists for so long. The greatest threat to this country, the white supremacists. We've been telling them about them for so long. We finally got one because the last 12 have been black people. Now, here's an interesting thing. So an interesting question is, what is a mass shooting? So, it's been different. It's always different. So in 2012, guys, I haven't even looked at my show plan. In 2012, the Investigative Assistance for Violent Crisis said that a mass shooting was 3 or more deaths. But currently, the FBI says any shooting with 4 or more people involved. So by the FBI standards, there's been multiple shootings this past weekend. There was a Houston, 2 dead and 3 injured. There was Milwaukee, where we had 3 different shootings with 21 people total injured. Looks like nobody died. And then we have Winston-Salem. Is that North Carolina? I think that's North Carolina. 7 people shot. And I don't know how many died in that one. But basically, according to the FBI standards, all of these count as mass shootings. But according to the different standards in different places, what their definition of a mass shooting is, basically, it's changed constantly. And I think at one point it was like 2.6 people dead is how they figured it. They took an average based off all the shootings and which one, and it came down to like 2.6. I was like, what's 0.6 of a person? What the? They shot 2 people and they aborted a baby is what they do. But anyway, so this is from Richard Burke, the Department of Criminology at Penn Arts and Sciences, Penn Arts and Sciences, the Department of Criminology. Yeah, that would be science. Okay. What is a mass shooting? What can be done? So in the United States, there are several different but common definitions of mass shootings. The Congressional Research Service defines most mass shootings as multiple firearm homicide incidents involving 4 or more victims at 1 or more locations close to one another. The FBI definition is essentially the same. Often there's a distinction made between private and public mass shootings, e.g. a school, place of worship, or a business establishment. Yeah, because they don't want to count it as a mass shooting in a gun-free zone, because then that drives up the fact that most of the shootings happen in gun-free zones. And so it hurts their pushing of removing the Second Amendment. Mass shootings undertaken by foreign terrorists are not included, no matter how many people die or where the shooting occurs. Now, this article actually conflicts with something else that I've heard before. These formulations are currently workable, but the threshold of 4 or more deaths is arbitrary. There are also important exclusions. For example, if 10 people are shot but only 2 dies, the incident is not a mass shooting. So by these standards, all these shootings this weekend were not mass shootings. And basically what it just breaks down to is they've set it up so that only white people can be mass shooters, because we all know that the white people don't miss. And we all know that the gang shootings, and so that's the thing that is conflicting. I believe in this, it says that gang shootings do count towards the mass shooting total, but I thought that gang shootings don't. Yeah. For example, multiple homicides that result from an armed robbery gone bad are included. So are multiple homicides that result from turf wars between rival drug gangs. Now, maybe it's because they're counting. Maybe it's because they only say drug gangs, so they wouldn't count like the Crips, the Bloods, the Vice Lords, the Folk, the GDs. They wouldn't count them, because those are street gangs. They do deal in drugs and stuff, but they're not considered drug gangs. By drug gangs, they mean cartels. Off the top of my head, I can only think of cartels. There's probably other Spanish words for like specifically drug gangs. But Or what it could just be is that in these gang shootings, you'll have a car driving by, and there'll be a guy with a shotgun, a guy with an AR, a guy with a pistol, another guy with a pistol, and they'll just lean out the window and they'll shoot up a block party, and they'll hit a little girl, and then they'll hit like an old man, and then they'll hit like some other random person, and the only one who dies is the little girl. So that doesn't count as a mass shooting, but even though they were attempting to hit, but then meanwhile, a little white girl will walk up in a school and just clean house with one clip. Like she'll just take them all out. So this is why our stats are skewed, I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. Anyway, the heterogeneous nature of mass shootings needs to be unpacked as well. There are important differences between mass shootings in schools, places of work, business establishments, outdoor rock concerts, private residences, and other settings. At the very least, there's a reason to suspect that each is characterized by different kinds of motives. Difference in how mass shootings are defined make it difficult to arrive at a consensus about the number of victims or the kinds of incidents that are more common. Yeah, so basically this is all just about mass shootings, differences in how mass shootings are defined, blah, blah, blah. So there's like every different organization has different definitions of mass shooting. And I believe in like the UK, the mass shooting was like 1.3 people. So it's even less, which they have guns restrictions over there. So references, we got reference here. Each homicide is a tragedy, but deaths from mass shootings should be understood with a broader context. Does that echo? What do you want? Yeah, I can't do this in the next show. Thank you. That's good. Dang, he gave me a piece of steak. Yeah, it's fire. All right. Each homicide is a tragedy. There were 351 homicides in Philadelphia in 2018, the vast majority of which were deaths from firearms. That is over 8 times more deaths than for all the mass shooting homicides in that year. So, right, okay, so yeah, so mass shooting isn't actually, more people are killed from people just shooting 1 or 2 people than from mass shootings. Narcos, it's the Spanish word you were looking for. Yeah, narcos, the Dominicanos, Colombianos, the narcos, the cartels. Yes. Watch the serial killer shows. How do I mod you guys up? So that's just a little information on mass shootings. It's interesting to understand the numbers and how they get it. And, you know, I don't really care about the color of the person that does the shooting. I don't care what their reason is. I think, you know, I'll read the manifesto because it's interesting to read these people, you know, how these people thought and stuff. The same way I've read industrial societies and its futures, and you know, I read the Communist Manifesto to learn about communism. I'm reading right now. I'm reading the Quran. You guys be like, "You're a Christian. Why are you reading the Quran?" Well, how am I gonna rebuttal anything a Muslim says? If I'm having some sort of theological debate with a Muslim, how am I going to argue it if I don't know, you know, their side of it? I need to read their book to understand it, to properly rebuttal it. So yeah, I just wanted to learn about mass shootings, how the different numbers are measured. Others claim that problem easy access to firearms, especially semi-automatic handguns and assault rifles. See, assault rifle is. That's why I don't like this argument. You can tell it's written by a lefty because none of these are actually like words. It's you know, college educated. Assault rifles, whatever you say, buddy. Also in fact check. So this is like a fact checking site, and that's most of these fact checking groups are from colleges, different colleges, Silicon Valley places and liberal places. Their colleges, the ones doing all the fact checks. So you know, I like to read their articles, but I take it all with a grain of salt because I understand there's a very large chance that it's written by a lefty. But yeah, so another shooting happens, and instantly we're right back on. You know, white supremacy. The Waukesha massacre. They blurred the guy's face out. They didn't say his race. They didn't say anything for days. Like I was saying, I don't care about the race or why they did it. I don't think it's important. I think they're just crazy, and the world's going crazy. So, But the news, the media will spin it differently. And that's the gripe I have, is that they'll tell us how horrible all these white shootings are and all these blah 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 blah. And I mean, really, it just breaks down to we're more accurate. We shoot better. Not me. I've never even shot a gun, guys. I'm a felon. I don't own a weapon. I've never owned a weapon. I've never shot a gun in my life. So I'm not experienced in mass shootings because I've never done one. So I probably shouldn't be talking about it, right? That's the argument, that's the appeal to authority that we'll get. You've never mass shot anybody, so you can't talk about mass shootings. Oh God. But yeah, so Peyton Gendron, they say is a white supremacist. It's pretty negative. I don't really care too much about it, but yeah, there were multiple mass shootings this weekend. He's gonna be charged with a hate crime. I think that's a stupid thing. It's just a way that they can give him more time for the crime, which I'm fine with that. But I think it should just be life either way. You shoot and kill 10 people, you're gonna get life or death, either life in prison or death, depending on where you are. Adding hate crime to it is just dumb. It's just dumb. Every crime, you don't think he's hateful if he murders 10 people of different races? It's only a hate crime if you're white and you murder 10 black people. If you're white and you murder 5 white people, 3 black people, and 2 Mexican people, that's not a hate crime. That's just a mass shooting. It's so stupid. Lord Luca, music. The media controls the masses. Throw away your TV. Return to nature. Facts. I don't even watch TV. I watch, independent news. Like I watch JLP and Hake and Crowder and a little bit of Daily Wire. And then whatever the newest hot topics are, I go to the liberal places. And I listen to those places not to get my opinions from them, but because I enjoy them. They're funny. And I like it. I like the content, and I could just chill and work and listen to it. And then the stuff that's important that I want to talk about, that I want to learn about, I go and research it and look it up. So this is like, just another mass shooting. When I was going to start the show a couple weeks ago, it was right around the time of the New York subway shooting. And it was like pulling teeth to get information about that guy. I find out he was on YouTube putting all this anti-white propaganda out there, and or anti-white, whatever he believed. But they don't, like, you had to look to find that out. The media wasn't just telling you, yo, this guy hated white people. They weren't saying it's racially motivated and this is a hate crime. And no, instead they have freaking, it just, oh man, it's ridiculous. But document talks about dwindling size of white population. Investigators are going through a 180-page document posted online for clues. I wonder if we could find it. Purported manifesto. We are obviously going through fine-tuned comb. All the evidence ascertained manifesto leads us. Where is it saying? Bought some ammo for some time. Chose to attack the Tops Friendly Market store in Buffalo because it was a majority black zip code within driving distance of where he lived, and he researched what time it would be busiest. Yeah. Brian Stelter, what's he got to say about it? Oh, sorry, guys. Oh, my gosh. Sorry, guys.
Another hate crime at a grocery store.
Listen to Brian Stelter.
Those words shouldn't even compute. They shouldn't fit in the same sentence. A hate crime at a grocery store. This time it was Buffalo residents in a predominantly black neighborhood who were just trying to take care of their families.
We got one,
when a white gunman opened fire on Saturday, killing 10 people and injuring 3 others. All the evidence so far suggests media are going through his so-called man in its ugly head again, this white replacement nonsense. It convinces isolated men on the internet that a cabal is that preys on white fear.
See,
the manifesto's author attributed most of his beliefs to the internet and described himself as a fascist, a white supremacist.
If you want to keep the...
Now again, there's a lot for investigators to get into. We are still in the early stages of this story. But there's a lot of evidence because of the purported manifesto and a live stream that was posted on Twitch, the popular gaming streaming service. Now, Twitch says the video was removed within minutes, but some of the video clips and images are still circulating online. There are now calls for accountability more complex. And now, as our kooky old grandmother, right? It's our race spaces in the media as these one-offs and not as an advanced, coherent ideology that are being told,
We're watching CNN. I know this is the liberal
stuff
news.
Tucker and Laura Ingraham say every night, it could be written by white supremacists very often. There's a section of this manifesto where the shooter starts talking about, people always say diversity is strength. How is it strength? What do we, and I could hear it in Tucker's voice. He says this all the time, right? But the Ben Shapiro's of the world say this. There's a big chunk about the idea of genetic differences that could have been pulled from an Andrew Sullivan column, right? There are plenty of people, typically just to a specific salient topic in our politics. It's what Donald Trump rode into power as language that you've used an hour every night to say some pretty racist things about it. Consider the words we use into racist white supremacist tropes.
You never heard any of these guys? You never heard any of their tropes? So it's okay if a black guy goes into a subway and shoots 6 white people because he hates white people because of what Minister Farrakhan and Dr. Malcolm X and everybody else, it's okay for them to do that because they're people you support. And they're marginalized. They're marginalized. So Dax and Tom McDonald's fire song. You know what? We're probably going to bump that while actually, I'm going to bump High Res God Over Government while I run to the restroom. And then we'll go into the theology section. I don't want to spend too much time talking about this shooting crap. It's interesting, but it's not to talk about. It's interesting to read. Like, I would really, 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 and it sounds weird, but these manifestos, they're really interesting, of all these crazy people. The Communist Manifesto, the Industrial Societies in its Future. If you haven't read that, you can find it online. It's really good. That's the Unabomber's Manifesto, and it's very... And scholars, I'm not just some crazy guy on the internet saying that the Industrial Societies in its Futures is a what would I say? What's a good word to? It's not like a good story to read, but it's smart. It's smart, and a lot of what it says makes a lot of sense. He talks about how it's about removal of autonomy, and basically cars. Everything is just removal of autonomy, and as technology and industry gets better, it destroys everything until eventually we're eating the bug bars, guys. We're eating the bug bars. So, but yeah, I don't want to talk about that too much. I do want to. I made a starting soon screen. If y'all missed it, this is my starting soon screen. I really put a lot of effort into it. But I don't have a be right back screen. So you guys are going to have to stare at my wall for a moment. We've got one more thing to talk about. We're going to talk about some theology, learn a little Greek, and turn down the volume on them, turn you up. Nice. Oh, during that clip I had the volume on them down up too high. My bad. But yeah, stuff's interesting to read about. It's just not. I'm finding out right now. It's no fun to talk about. It's like, I don't know. Let's see. We went through that. We went through that. Went through that. We went through that. So we've got this. Let's check this out real quick. We got 7 likes. We've got 3 concurrent viewers, or is that? Where does it say how many are currently in the chat? Is it 3? I was currently 1, 7 likes. So thanks for the likes, guys. Hey, I'm not going anywhere. It's not over yet. I do want to let everybody know this will not be monetized, but we got super chats online. So if anybody wants to drop a super chat, if you can't, that's cool. Just doing a little plugging. If you get mad when people, advertise things like clicking the like button or clicking the subscribe button, or maybe sending a super chat. If you don't like when content creators do that, then you're not a content creator, so you can't have an opinion about it. You wouldn't tell an artist not to advertise for their show where they're selling their art. You wouldn't tell a musician not to charge for tickets to their concert. So So yeah, the least I can do is just ask you guys to and it's free to hit subscribe and to hit like. It's free, but I think everybody in here is probably subscribed. But hit like, you guys. I'm gonna run to the bathroom. We got one last topic to talk about, and then we might just chill and just read chat, listen to some music, whatever. But yeah, let me. I could play this because it's new. Yeah, let's listen to this new. 3 minutes 36 seconds.
What are the next? What are the next things that are going to be attacked? Because this maggot
from Bryson, Tyson, Bergatio, all them. We'll play this. I'm gonna keep my screen up here.
What are the next things that are going to be attacked? Because this MAGA crowd is really the most extreme political organization that's existed in American history.
They already hate us, so let's make them matter. Ooh, they say we extreme, y'all hear the chatter. I be Christ first and the rest don't matter. 2 a.m. we run up on my back, so going ultra MAGA. Make America golly again, that's my favorite MAGA. And I rap my Bible verses than your favorite pastor. Overturn Roe v. Wade, cut them babies matter. If I rap about murder, I bet I'll be their favorite rapper. But I rap about God and family, so I get banned. Sorry that I don't believe a woman is a man. And this a war with good and evil, tell me where you stand. You know only the wicked flee, that's why I never ran. Ay, it's about the kingdom, not about the money. Ay, bigger than one man, it's about the country. Ay, they brought up inflation, buying found it funny. And they taking all of our freedoms, what you want from me? They push Lil Nas X just because he gay. And they push Cardi B to lead all your daughters astray. And they tell me I could be rich if I change what I say. I never wanted to be of the world anyway. They already hate us, so let's make them matter. Ooh, they say we extreme, y'all hear the chatter. I be Christ first and the rest don't matter. 2 a.m. we run up on my back, so going ultra MAGA.
That's how I feel when parents have been overruled. Indoctrinating kids is better to be homeschooled. Just a bunch of pedophiles, how they get this stuff approved? Whooping son and mega joy, man we need a different view. Education in our nation should be school choice. Let the girls be the girls, boys be the boys. On the Blake Shelton to the game, I was be the voice of the people. Get to sounding off like a desert eagle. Heard you coming after me, guess I'm going Johnny Depp. I just smile while you lie, let the Lord be my rep. I keep swimming through the swamp like I'm Black Michael Phelps. Been about the Constitution since the day I left from Mel's, boy. Disrespect the team, I'ma check it. Cannon Sowens, I'ma pull up to your crib while I'm pregnant. It's a sham, everybody need the flex. It 80 million votes impossible, no matter how you stretch it. Oh, gang.
They already hate us, so let's make them matter. Ooh, they say we extreme, y'all hear the chatter. I be Christ first and the rest don't matter. 2 a.m. we run up on my back, so going ultra MAGA.
It's a big MAGA party, we live Coachella. 2-8 with the Draco bullets, rain, get an umbrella. I stick the God's plan, no man was born a Cinderella. A rich Republican, you know I keep that mozzarella. Disney try to ban me, Pink Floyd try to ban me. Bryson gonna drop this quick, I need a gram. All my patriots and infidels, you know we in the streets. Us JS6s did nothing wrong, we ain't no sheep. I heard BLM scanned a lot of people out here. I know Sleepy Joe and Hunter by the criminals, yeah. You know we won by your landslide, bottom must be in peace. Sold our country to China, I'm strapped like the Middle East. Gas prices way up, liberal tears and inflation. Come on like our horns, Nancy P, work for Satan. Obama got another man pregnant, this is crazy. Democrat, just another word for life.
They already hate us, so let's make them matter. Ooh, they say we extreme, y'all hear the chatter. I be Christ first and the rest don't matter. 2 a.m. we run up on my back, so going ultra MAGA.
They say that we ultra MAGA, yeah we are extreme. One day I'ma die and yeah that's kinda the dream. It's like every day's another laugh and every day's a meme. I threw my TV out the window cause I'm tired of the schemes. I serve God, I would never serve a man. I heard they say the MAGA was no better than the Klan. I forgot my white hood, but I got my right hook. And I got that guidebook on how to be a man. Always tell the truth and you will never be defeated. 2,000 mules and we know that you cheated. We got the proof but they wanna delete it. What happened, Newsmax? Did Dinesh get you heated? Listen, I'ma keep exposing all the fake ones. All of these lies are just making my brain numb. Nobody good on the left, you can't name one. So I'ma stay posted right here with my same gun.
Hey. Going ultra MAGA 2024. We're not for Dr. Oz, though. I'm not happy about that. But the other ladies know better. At least she's more pro-life than Dr. Oz, and women will go hard when they are pro-life. Unfortunately, pro-life women don't make the only decisions in government. So they make a lot of other decisions that I think men should be making. But as far as the pro-life issue, they're women. They're the only ones who are allowed to have opinions on it. And I know Dr. Oz he said he was pro-life, but we have 10 years of evidence of his show that say he's not pro-life. That's not even the topic we're going to talk about. But 2024 is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting what happens. Oh, Lord Grimm is live right now. Dang. If he was up in chat, I would bump some of his music, but I was going to see if he dropped in, but he's live right now. What the? All right, so let's get into a little theological stuff, and then we'll just hang out for a little bit. So basically, I hear a lot of people talking about God is love, and God is love. I hear a lot of people talk about all the liberals have signs in their front yard that tell you everything about their beliefs, and it's like crazy. Like, it's worse than Facebook is when you put a sign in your front yard that tells everybody who goes by your house, we are. What's the sign? What's that sign? What is it? How would I search it? Liberal sign. But it basically says, we. Here it is. I found it. All I typed is liberal sign. All I typed is liberal sign. Look what we got. We got it right here. You see this in people's front yards all around here. Not gay for Biden. I haven't seen that one yet. That's pretty funny. But these two. We believe science is real. Okay. Nobody's going to argue with anybody on that. Science was also created by Catholics and Christians. Well, people would say that's the same thing, but Catholics, Christians, we kind of started science, but women's rights are human rights. Okay, well, it's just rights. If you're adding an adjective in front of it, then, well, other than inalienable, God-given rights. Echo, you want a treat? Echo, I got a treat for you, bud. Somewhere. Echo wants to come on the stream. Hold on, guys. The dog's here. What the dog doing, though? Come here. Right here, buddy. Echo's on the stream. He's gonna take his treat and go. Echo, come here. Come here, bud. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. That's my doggy, Echo. He's a good boy. Anyway, so what was I saying? Why can't I shrink it now? Uh-oh, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one, boys. Hey, okay. Women's rights are human rights. Okay, well, whatever. All the rights are the same. They're all given by God to all the same people. Black Lives Matter. Okay. So we know you're a Marxist and you support the destruction of the modern family, the nuclear family. No person is illegal. No person is illegal. Okay. Love is love. So this is what we're talking about. Love is love. Okay, well, what love are you talking about? Because when I'm talking about God's love, I'm talking about agape. You're talking about a different type of love. So, in the Bible, we have 4 types of love. Turns out there's actually 7 types of Greek love in ancient Greek. So we'll take a look at them real quick. Don't look at that. Get that out of here. That's an ad. All right, let's just scroll through here. We got Eros, which is romantic passion love. And I've got some Bible verses written down for all these. So Eros, we have love being referenced as Eros in 1 Corinthians 7:5 and Hebrews 13:4. Then we have philia, affectionate, friendly love. So this is used in the Bible where they're talking about Lazarus. Jesus had this type of love for Lazarus. It's friendly love. It's how you love your brotherly love, your sisterly love, like not family love, but your friends. Then we have storge, which is unconditional familial love. This is family. So turns out this one isn't actually specifically referenced in the Bible. This is a Greek word for love, but it's basically mama's love. This is mama's love. This is family love, how you love your family. And this specific word isn't referenced in the Bible. It's a It's a combination of philia and storge. So we'll look at that in a second. And then there's more. There's agape. That's selfless, universal love. I would call this God love. Love for God, nature, strangers. So this is the word we see in John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life. That's John 3:16. For God so loved the world. The word they use there is agape. That's God's love. So when I talk about I love somebody and then I say something and you hear it and it sounds like I'm mean, it's mean, or it's not nice. That's not nice. That's not nice. You shouldn't say that. But I'm saying it with God's love. And God is a tough God. God is not some like soft pushover. God has wrath. And, I don't think it's anger. It's not the type of emotional anger that humans get. I believe we should not have that anger at all. And I don't believe Jesus had anger like that, like human anger, manly, or actually it's feminine, it's female anger. That type of anger comes from our lower nature, comes from Satan, comes from the world. But God's wrath is pure. God will rain fire and brimstone on people if they're all corrupt. If everybody's corrupt, God's just gonna blow that piece up. He don't care. And that's love. That's agape. That's God's love. And a lot of people say, well, I don't want that love. That's a scary, mean love. Yes, it is. It is. And but it's not scary when you have it. So that's just something that I think is important. And then we have ludus. So none of these other last three are ever mentioned in the Bible, but they are ancient Greek words for love. We have ludus, playful, flirtatious love. So this is like infatuation. Well, all about having fun. So your friends you'd like to go party with. Yeah, it is the infatuated phase that occurs in the early stages of romance. So, that's ludus. Then we got pragma, committed, long-lasting love. Pragma. So basically like marriage, maybe. Yeah, many long-term marriages and friendships. Now, also another time. Well, this isn't in the Bible, but in the Bible, when we see eros being referred to, eros is specifically only supposed to be in marriage. So eros is sex, it's physical love. Now I think maybe like giving somebody a hug could maybe count as eros. I'm not sure, but everything I've seen on it mainly refers to sex. So, but in the Bible, when eros is used, it says only in marriage. Pragma, committed, long-lasting love. Maybe that's a word that whatever guy wrote the Bible, he could have also used pragma. We're talking about marriages, but he's specifically saying sex in marriage. And different people write different ways. That's why we have different accounts in the Bible from different people who walked with Jesus, and they saw an example of a man who was a son of God, and they wrote about it, and they all wrote from their perspective, and they all wrote in their own words. So that's why when it seems like things are conflicting in the Bible, the overarching point isn't conflicting, but what's conflicting is that different men have said it different ways. So you have to read all of it and look at all of it together. But pragma, I feel like, is a word that the Bible doesn't use it, but basically it means marriage. And then philautia sounds like something else. Philautia sounds really close to something dirty. Philautia, self-love. Well, no. The word I'm thinking of is a dirty word that sounds like philautia, and it is not self-love. Philautia is self-love, which the ancient Greeks saw as healthy, necessary love of oneself that made it possible to give and receive love from other people. Yeah, I think that's probably why the ancient Greeks are extinct now, because they believed in some of this mess. But you can't love yourself. You can only love others, and you can't actually love others. Only God is love, true love, agape. I guess you can do all these other fake loves, but the true love is agape, basically. One of kind love. It is empathetic, selfless love for others that includes a love for God, nature, strangers. So this seems secular. This seems like a secular article, because my definition of agape would be God's love, not a love for God. Because in the Bible, God so loved the world that he gave us up. We can't do that. That's not something we can do. So we can't have agape for another person unless it's God's agape coming through us. You see what I'm saying? Includes a love for God. Yeah, I mean, I guess I see what they're saying, but it seems kind of like a secular article. But anyway, so then we have the 4 types of love. Again, these are the ones mentioned in the Bible, and this is where it says, or yeah, the 3 kinds of love. This is where it says Philos, Eros, and then storge. They have them combined into one because in the New Testament in Romans 12:10 is compounded with Philos storge. So storge, as in mama's love, familial love, is never actually used explicitly in the Bible. The word that they use is philostorgy, so they're relating friend and family love with family devotion, putting them together, and you get mama's love. That's it. Those are the different types of loves in the Bible. I wanted to check out some of the verses with these examples, just so that we check the source. We don't just go off what the internet's telling us, right? So we got the bibliotech here. We're going to scope it out. So for physical love, we have 1 Corinthians 7:5 and Hebrews 13:4. Let's go Hebrews 13:4. Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled. But whoremongers and adulterers God will judge. Ooh! Ooh! Whoremongers and adulterers God will judge. Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled. Okay, but I don't even know where the word love is used in that, but they're talking about marriage in the bed. So I'm guessing the word they used was eros, as in physical love, but it should only happen in marriage. Okay. 1 Corinthians 7:5 for another example. 1 Corinthians 7:5. Defraud ye not one the other, except it be with consent for a time, that ye may give yourself to fasting and prayer and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your incontinency. Your inability to control yourself, basically. Defraud ye not one another, except it be with consent for a time, that ye may give yourself to fasting. So let's read a little bit before. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto the husband. Due benevolence. Due benevolence. I'd like to see what that means, what they mean by that in Greek, and look deeper into that. The wife hath not power of her own body, but the husband, and likewise also the husband hath not power of his own body, but the wife. Defraud ye not the other, except it be with consent for a time, that you may give yourself to fasting and prayer and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your incontinency. Speak this by permission and not of commandment. I speak this of permission, but not of commandment. So yeah, they're talking about, sex and marriage. Basically, that's what. So in those examples, eros is the word that was used for love. So just an interesting thing to learn. We got Philos. We're talking about Lazarus. So that's John 11:3 and 36. Let's check out that real quick. John 11:3 and 11:36. I have to use my hands better. So John 11:3 is on the next page. This is Philos. Therefore his sisters sent him, saying, Lord, behold, he whom thou lovest is sick. Yeah, Lord, behold, he who thou lovest is sick. So they're talking about Lazarus. That's Lazarus' sisters when they came to Jesus. And they're talking about how he's sick. The one you love is sick. And they're talking about Philos, friendship love, brotherly love between, you and a friend. I love Lord Luca music. I love Josh Johnson. I love Chauffeur X. I love freaking Lady Irma. I got Philos for y'all. Philos in this piece. And Agape. And I haven't even met you. And then we have storge. I think that other verse just talks more about Romans 12:10. Acts to the letters of the Romans, 1st and 2nd Corinthians, Galatians and Ephesians, Philippians and Colossians, 1st and 2nd Thessalonians, 1st and 2nd Timothy, Titus and Philemon, Hebrews and the book of James, 1st and 2nd Peter, 1st and 2nd, 3rd John, Jude and Revelations. Anyway, Romans 12:10. Be kindly affectionate one to another with brotherly love and honor, preferring one another. So there, the word they translated to English was with brotherly love, but with brotherly love, it would also be philos, but the word that they used is a combination of philos and storge. It's basically brotherly love, familial brotherly love. And then agape, God's love, John 3:16, 1 Corinthians 1:13. I already did John 3:16 for you. 1st and 2nd Corinthians. Where's Corinthians at? After the letters in the Romans, 1st and 2nd Corinthians, after Romans. Romans, 1st Corinthians 1:13. 1:13. All right. And then we'll be pretty much done with this. Is Christ divided? Was Paul crucified for you? Or were you baptized in the name of Paul? What's that have to do with God's love? 1 Corinthians 1:13. Is Christ divided? Was Paul crucified for you? Or were ye baptized in the name of Paul? For it hath been declared unto me, my brethren, now this I say, that every one of you saith, I am of Paul, and I of Apollos, and I of Cephas, and I of Christ. Is Christ divided? Was Paul crucified for you? I don't know where this says anything about love or agape. I thank God that I baptized none of you but Crispus and Gaius, lest any should say that I had baptized them in my own name. Maybe it's Colossians or something, and I wrote down the wrong article. But that's not really saying anything about God's love. Agape is the word used for love in 1 Corinthians 13. 1 Corinthians 13. All it says is 1 Corinthians 13, which would actually be chapter 13, but it doesn't have a verse. I don't know if they want me to read. Is there even? Yeah, there are 13 chapters in Corinthians. So we love you too. Hey, thank you, Lord Luca. We'll be almost done with this topic, then we'll just chat for a little while. So 1 Corinthians 13, I don't know if they're referring to all of it. Well, here we have, when I was a child, I spake as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things. Now we see through the glass darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I know, even as also I am known. And now abide of faith, hope, charity, these three, but the greatest of these is charity. Oh, and that's also translated into, is this the love language or the yeah. Okay. Chapter 13. Yeah, 1 Corinthians 13 is the thing you always see on your mom and your grandparents' walls, and it has all the script and stuff. It's like, love is peace, love is kind, love does not boast, love is, so it's I speak with the tongues of men and of angels and have not charity. I am become as sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. Music. It's music to my ears. Lord Luca knows all about music. Yo, you guys could check out Lord Luca's music. Lord Luca's channel. He does live streams all the time, playing music, vibing out. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith so that I could move mountains and have not charity, I am nothing. So this is New King James. The word they're using is charity, which is interesting, but a lot of Bibles will change it to love, but the love that in Greek, the love that it's referring to as charity is agape, which is God's love. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned and have not charity, it profiteth me nothing. Charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity valueth not itself, is not puffed up, doth not have itself unseemingly, seeketh not her own, is not easily provoked, thinketh no evil, rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in the truth, beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things. Charity never faileth, but whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. Whether there is tongues, they shall cease. Whether there is knowledge, it shall vanish away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away with. When I was a child, I spoke as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. For now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I know even as also I am known. And now by the faith, hope, charity, all these three, but the greatest of these is charity. So you could replace all those words with love. And you can replace all those words with agape. So that is God's love, guys. That's what we were I wanted to talk about. I wanted to explore these different what's up, Lord H Sizzle? Kamehameha. We got Goku back here doing the Kamehameha wave. But yeah, so just wanted to do a little, not necessarily Bible study. It doesn't have to be. We were studying the Bible, but we're learning Greek and how the Bible uses it. So I wanted to look into the Bible and see it. Yeah, that's pretty much oh yeah. I also want to say eros is lust. Eros is like lust also. Also that other one that isn't used in the Bible is actually closer to lust. The infatuation one. And so basically eros is like for the simps. H Sizzle Raphael, what up? Yeah. Simps are the eros. Eros is for simps. And I would only simp, and I've said this in somebody's chat, but I got to add a name to it. I used to say I would only simp for 2 women. Now I've realized I have to simp for 3 women. I will simp for Savannah Hernandez, formerly of InfoWars. Now I think she's just independent. She was on Blaze for a little bit with Elijah. Savannah Hernandez, I will simp for you. Savannah, what up, girl? Hit your boy up. Kaylee McEnany, she's married, so I shouldn't be saying this. It's not very Christian of me. But Kaylee, if something ever happens, hit up your boy. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. You have my heart, my lady. You have my heart, Kaylee. And then last one, Sue Dub. Sue Dub. Y'all know about Sue Dub. Hey, Susan. Hey, I love you. I love you, Susan. Susan, I'm sorry for all my transgressions. Sue Dub. I'm not going to say her full name because she don't like that. Sue Dub, I love you. Lord H Sizzle, JS, love your show, man. Hey, thank you. Hey, we've been going for a minute. We talked about the shooting. We talked about the formula crisis and how everybody from both sides of the political aisle are freaking out over formula, and it's almost like they forgot that there was a backup plan to formula. On the 7th day, God created formula. Luckily, there was a backup plan in case the formula shorted, in case there was the system ever collapses. God forbid Russia or China hack our oh my God, our infrastructure, our data network, and they shut down the internet, and and you guys won't be able to hear my show anymore. And they just, technology, power goes out, the water goes out. We don't have formula. Luckily, there's a backup plan to feed the babies, guys. We got one. It's almost like there was some sort of intelligent design. And it wasn't scientists in the 18th century. Crazy. It's crazy, I know. I guess, that is the world. That is the world today. So, what else we got? Talked about that. Anybody got anything cool to check out? Is Lord Grimm was live. I saw that. I was saying earlier, if Lord Grimm had jumped in chat, I was gonna bump some of his music. Check out one of his songs. We got the lights down. We're gonna I'll be right back in like half a second. Echo, what you doing? I'm gonna pop a brew. We got through all the important stuff. We are the world. We are the world. We are the children. What is that, like Michael Jackson? So it looks like Lord Grimm is still live, maybe.
I'm misunderstood in that song that I used to.
Oh, music video reaction.
I'm misunderstood.
And so he cusses and stuff in his music. Hey, dummy, why are you saying "Let's go, Brandon" if you're gonna cuss and say "F Joe Biden" two sentences later? And I cut. I'm not like anti-cussing. I cuss occasionally. I try not to. Not because I think it's bad or a sin if you cuss. I try not to because I think people sound dumb when their vocabulary. Me neither. No fugatio. Yeah. A lot of people substitute curse words for learning words. So it's so bad. That's the goddamn bullshit, man. Yeah, that's F this and this is bull crap. Yeah. You've heard people that talk like that. And like I don't want to talk like that. So I try not to cuss, not because I think cussing is like, oh, you're a sinner, you're going to hell, but because it just doesn't sound intelligent. Yeah, also the love of God, it's confrontative. His love confronts his son to the world. Confrontative. Hey guys, Shofarax is from another country. So English is his second language. So um give shout outs to Shofarax. He's over in Argentina. I'm not gonna say anything more than that, buddy. Just their country. But it's awesome to have somebody watching from Argentina. I know I got some people on the channel from like New Zealand, Great Britain, heard around the world by everybody and their mama. So thank you, Shofrat. But yeah, I'm not sure what your confrontative. I don't know if that's actually a word because confrontational. Yeah. Also, the love of God is confrontative. I don't know if that's the word. Yeah, when you become a noob.
So they calling me a little screw. Now they calling me a little screw.
All right. What else we got?
You know what? Jimmy and High Res got it right. This is a war. This is a war on freedom. This is a war on
God over government.
This is a war on religion. This is a war on your ability to think.
Well, who's this guy? Oh yeah, so he did a "Let's Go Brandon" song.
They want to.
But then he's cussing anyway. So it's like the whole point of the "Let's Go Brandon" thing was because a lot of Republicans and Trump supporters are Christian, and they didn't want to say F Joe Brandon. They didn't want to say F Joe Brandon. They didn't want to say F Joe Biden. So they said "Let's Go Brandon," which that reporter messed up and said it first. But then all the Christian rappers jumped on it because they're like, oh, cool. We couldn't make a F Joe Biden song, so we'll make "Let's Go Brandon." I would say your mic could go up the tiniest. Oh yeah, I dropped it down during the music. Yeah, let's bump that up. Let's bump that up. Yeah, confrontational. The love of God is confrontational. His love confronts his son to the world. I don't know if confrontational is a word I would use. Show for X. Because confrontational means his love is confrontational. Confrontational means like starting arguments. Just to start arguments. Which is kind of like I'm confrontational sometimes. Especially if people come at me confrontational. Nice, perfect. Cool. Good. So yeah. Now you're sounding good. Okay, good. Yeah, I dropped the mic volume down because I was listening to that song and talking and messing with the levels. Why does it? You guys want to know something cool? So I'm reading the Quran, and in the first pages, confrontational. You want to know what's confrontational, Mario? The Quran is confrontational. You find that within the first, I'm only like 10 pages in. I'm only on the second chapter, but it starts off right off the riff. They're taking ideas from the Torah and the Tanakh and the Bible and saying, these are the ones we believe and these are the ones we don't. And it's very confrontational. It's very confronting the other religions. Like, this is where you're right, this is where you're wrong. And now, one of the reasons I started reading the Quran is because JLP had a guy named Dean on his show who I watched. I watched an interview with Benjamin Owens and Dean. I can't remember his last name. It's called like the Dean Show or something. But I watched that interview with Owen Benjamin, and it was a very good interview. And the guy is actually pretty chill. And you come to find out, but now, let no man teach you. This is just his side of the story. And I found this is what a lot of the Muslims who are like Muslim defenders, they will all make these same arguments. So I wanted to read the book and see if they are just softening their message to make it more acceptable, or I want to know what the base message is. I don't want to know what you're telling me it is, but what he was saying is that really, I've never read the Quran, always wanted to out of curiosity. Right. I'm not reading it because I'm going to become a Muslim. I'm just reading it so I know. I like reading, theology and stuff. Dean Show as in mean Dean. No, it's not the Dean from chat. It's not. He's got an actual show. I mean, Owen Benjamin he's a Muslim. He's a white Muslim. That's where I got this Quran, actually. He came on Jesse's show, and Jesse was he was attacking all the right points, and not really letting the guy get an inch to explain himself, because Jesse's old school. He knows what the excuses are and stuff. So, but anyway, I don't want to talk too much about his show, but that is one of my like main sources. I get a lot of my news from the JLP network, so we will talk about it sometimes. But anyway, that's where I got this Quran from. Is he interviewed this white Muslim guy. Then I went to the white Muslim guy's website, watched some of the other videos, and this guy's actually a pretty cool guy. And they gave out Qurans for free, so I ordered one and I got it in like a month. And it's just very confrontational. But one thing, they don't believe in original sin, which I think their definition of original sin is different than mine. Quran has a chapter about the flood and mentions an ark, I heard. Well, yeah, it mentions everything that's in the Bible, because really all it is just like commentary on the Bible. It's basically Muhammad's commentary on the Bible. It's his point of view. Now he says that it's from an angel. This is one of my big problems with like the Book of Mormon and the Quran. So the Bible was written over thousands of years from I think 44 authors from across not across the world, because I don't know. Depending on where it was chronologically, who knows where they were. Maybe there weren't that many people and they were all combined to a fairly small area in the Middle East. But anyway, these people were from different places, different countries at the time, different places all over the world, 44 different authors from different times, and everything is cohesive. So everything, 144 prophecies in the Old Testament fulfilled in the New Testament, like all these things that these different wise men and these different men who walked with God and who knew God were writing, and scripts and saying in the New Testament, it's all fulfilled. And this is from multiple eyewitness accounts, multiple authors, whereas the Book of Mormon, the Quran, you got one guy who walked into the woods, you got one guy who walked into the desert and saw an angel, and the angel, or Joseph Smith is like, he saw Moroni, and then he found the golden plates, and only he could translate them, so he wrote a book. And then you read the Book of Mormon, you find out a lot of it is just plagiarized out of Isaiah and Native American stories and some Norse stuff, and he plagiarized from a lot of popular books because he read a lot. He was a book nerd, and so he made up a story and he wrote it down, and he's the only one who could translate it. He's the only one who knew, and blah 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 blah. He's the only one. He's the arbiter of truth in that situation. Nobody can say anything against him because he's the one who made it up. The same thing with Muhammad. Muhammad said he went out into a desert. He got hit with a rock in the head or something, or fell down in a cave or something. And an angel came to him and said, all the religions are wrong. Here's the right one. It's because Satan can't create. Satan can only imitate. So basically, the Quran is very much like the Bible, and it takes a lot out of the Bible. And it's just his commentary on the Bible. But one thing, they don't believe in original sin, as in, they don't believe that Eve sinned Eve fell to Satan, and then the man fell to the woman. So the way the Bible says it is Satan couldn't deceive the man. So Satan went to the woman, he deceived the woman, and then the man fell for the woman. So the woman made Satan her God, and the man made the woman his God. And that's what we see all over the world all the time. So, hi everybody, Lord H Sizzles here. Lord Colin B, what's up? Are we in the final days? Hey, D Milkin. Oh wait, that's D Milkin. That's from hey, I like your thoughts on the biblical world. What's up, Dean Milkin? Sorry guys, I'm a little behind on chat. Where's Lord Baby 42 at? Can you give me sanctuary? My aunt is a thumper and thinks we are. It feels like it. So, as far as that, Lord Colin B, I think that's called rapture chasers, and I don't like that because these. And I don't want to say nothing bad about your aunt, but yeah, a lot of Bible thumpers, a lot of people need to stay out of Revelations. If you don't have like the wisdom, if you don't have the light, if you don't know God, and you don't have like a walk with God, Josh, play some doors. I want to play people who, if my video gets copyrighted and like ads are run on it, I want the proceeds to go to people that I like want to support like that. No offense to the Doors, but I like the Doors music, but I'm gonna try to be playing more like independent, smaller stuff. Rapture Chaser for sure, yeah. And so these people, credit cards was the mark of the beast. Now, what else? You guys, there's a lot. The ancestry thing. I called in the Nick show about the ancestry thing. I know people who say that's the mark of the beast. Giving out your DNA. That's the mark of the beast. I could play Graham. I'll play Graham. What else? Credit cards, the internet. People said internet was the mark of the beast. Now we got the vaccine. People say the vaccine is the mark of the beast. There are definitely companies that are working on putting chips into us that we can use as money and currency and track. Which the tracking doesn't really matter. We all have cell phones, so who cares if they're tracking us? D Milkin, I figure, man, if I had to give my rib to a woman, why is she always looking for another bone? Oh, boom! Ain't a rib enough, yo. D Milkin killing it. If I had to give my rib to a woman, why is she always looking for another bone? Toss me a freaking bone here. 5G and Wi-Fi. We could talk about 5G and Wi-Fi, but I think a lot of people miss a lot of like QAnon type people. Which QAnon, when it first started, hold on, guys, I'm getting sidetracked. I can't just keep throwing all these. We got to stay kind of focused on one thing here. Where were we at? Oh, the Quran. So they don't believe that the woman fell to Satan and the man fell to the woman. They believe that both the man and the woman equally went together and ate of the fruit. Also, yeah. So, yeah. Also, I think, I don't know. But anyway, then we get to, what was the other question? Oh, rapture chasers. Yeah, so rapture chasers. So everything is the mark of the beast, right? Credit's the mark of the beast. Neuralink's the mark of the beast. The internet's the mark of the beast. The vaccine's the mark of the beast. The chip they're trying to put in us is the mark of the beast. It's all the mark of the beast. But really, everything's the end times. So we're always in the end times. So with these people who freak out and say, we're in the end times. Yes, we're always in the end times. From the moment Jesus left after he died and rose again. And also, I've heard a lot of good arguments to say that Jesus coming was already the second coming. So when Revelations talks about the second coming, and then after that, there's going to be the trials and the tribulations, the second coming already came, and we are currently in the trials and the tribulations, and they're going to be, it could be for eternity, or, what? AJ was right. Yeah. AJ the boy, bro. Hey, I don't even think I can say his name without getting banned. D Milkin up in chat. Lady Irma. Chauffeur asks, God not only is love, but he is also a father and a king. So his sons, we are his sons and his soldiers. Facts. Yeah. And God is not only love, but he's also wrath. You say that God is love, you forget the other half. He is also wrath. Get it right. He is the creator. Bet my bottom dollar he is not a beta. go to Tyson James. But I'm not going to monetize these streams. We do have super chats active. That's a thing. I don't really expect anybody to do it, but it is an option. But yeah, I'm not going to be monetizing these streams, not because of the copyright, but because of the content, the sensitive nature of some of the content. And it doesn't even have to be offensive if you're talking about anything politics or any of the real deep stuff. It's considered not appropriate for advertisers, so YouTube will give you like a flag, and basically you can still monetize your channel, but they won't run ads on it unless it's members only. And I don't think I can do members only yet. I'm close. Now this chat is secure. You got 3 turtles on patrol. Nice. I missed some chats while I was modding people up. Why won't it let me scroll up? They already got the chip companies and things in Europe. You open your office doors with a wrist swipe and get paid on it. It's optional for employees in the country. Yeah, it won't be optional for long. This Buffalo shooting doesn't add up. I gotta be careful saying things like that. We know what happened to AJ. Can Colin and I get money? Yeah, I did that. Have you heard of preterism? Preterism? Have I heard of preterism? I have not. Click our name and add moderator. I was watching in OBS though, so I couldn't do that. Actually, can I? No, I don't think I could do that through OBS. So I had to go in. I had to go into YouTube and do it. I'll mod you in my chat. Oh, nice. I don't know, man. I'm tough with. I don't really have a good. What am I trying to say? Commitment. I'm bad with commitment, Lord Luca. I'm bad with commitment. I don't know if I want to be a mod in your. No, I'm kidding. You can mod me up. It just sounds like a bit of a commitment. Ew, I like this. Yeah, it's a great song. That guy's voice is amazing. They got another one called Faith Over Fear. So that's God over government. And they got another one called Faith Over Fear. They're both really good. And this guy's voice on the hook is just awesome. Hey, JS, what are you doing for work? I seen your one channel and you said you were doing remodeling. That's awesome. That's this channel. That's the same channel, Dean. It's a lifestyle channel. I just started doing this show because I've been wanting to do it for a while, and I haven't done it because I figure I'm probably going to get kicked off YouTube pretty quick once we get going with this. 'Cause I don't have much. I try to have a filter. I'm trying to be nice and say. You'll notice if I ever sometimes it'll seem like I can't think of the next thing to say. That's either because of all the drugs I've done in my life, or it's because I don't want to say something that's going to get me instantly perma-banned on YouTube. So I have to stop myself and think of a different way to say it. Doesn't YouTube stop? Yeah, you asked about that. We're calling B, Donatello, Turtle. We got the Ninja Turtles in the chat, boys. I'm Mecha Head, or what's his name? Metalhead? Metalhead? Shout out Elongated Muskrat. Lord Colin B, I got you. Lord Sizzle. Now, this chat is secure. You got 3 turtles. I got you. So it only applies to monetizing then. Thank you. Yeah. It's what I was saying earlier is if they give you that sensitive content thing, you don't monetize your video, that's fine. But YouTube will still run ads on it and they'll still make money off the ads. So it's dumb. They don't really care. It's just they don't want edgy people to make money off of this sort of stuff. So we can't monetize these streams. We won't monetize them. Now, if I was very careful and didn't say anything upsetting and didn't play any copyrighted music for the whole stream, I could monetize this stream for future revenue from people watching the video later. And you would make money off of that. But I would have to not play any copyrighted stuff. Which you can do. You can take news clips. You can make your own clips. You can edit them so that it's like zooming in and try not to have things playing for too long. You're great at this with a great setup. Thank you, Lord Luca. 100% call. Great modding comes great responsibility. Right. commitment, dude. I ain't Spider-Man. Dean, that's terrifying because right now I have a garden and it's my happy place. Yeah, I've got a video on the channel. Oh yeah, Dean was asking about work I do. I do like renovations. We flip apartments over so that people get evicted or people move out. We get it ready for the next people, which often we have to go in and do. A lot of these people destroy their apartments and because they're getting kicked out. Um, so we go in and we repair all the stuff. I have a little bit of tree experience. I was trying to get into that, but it's pretty tough and expensive. But I can do like small tree work. I do landscaping. I've done everything, bro. I've done everything. Food industry, service industry, all of that. So, but I really just like the what I'm doing now because I do a little bit of everything. So one day I'm painting, one day I'm doing baseboards, one day I'm doing flooring, one day I'm doing drywall, one day I'm doing a little bit of electrical, or one day I'm doing demo, one day I'm putting in cabinets. So it's cool because you're learning a lot of different things that are all valuable skills on the job. Don't have to go to college for it, and basically, it never gets boring. It's not like you're doing the same rinse and repeat thing every day. It's always something new. Um, and then I was gonna say, somebody mentioned a garden. I have a video on this channel of my garden from last year in front of my apartment. We have a little flower bed, so it's a really small. It's like what 6 by 12, 6 by 15 little flower bed, and we're gonna get some tomatoes in there, some herbs, some chives, some onions. Oh, I need to plant the onions actually. Tinkering like a mug, yes sir, yes sir. These days, you have to be a jack of all trades, master of none. Right on, brother. Keeping on. That expression is actually jack of all trades, master of one. So over time, it's changed to jack of all trades, master of none. But that's not what you want. You want to be a jack of all trades, but a master of one. So that's actually that. Originally, that's what that expression was, but over time, people have turned it to master of none. Just a little fun fact, Lord H. Sizzle. I'm a jack of all trades, master of one. But what I'm best at, I don't like doing. What I'm best at is drawing. I can draw with, pencils, colored pencils, charcoal, all that stuff. I can draw, I can shade, and I can do realism. I do realism. So if I can look at something, I can draw it and have it look exact. But I don't like drawing. So I'm a master of it, but it's not my favorite thing to do. Probably should have dedicated more time in my life to drawing, but I don't have to. It's just like a natural thing for me. I'm just good at drawing. I don't even have to practice. I could just draw a portrait with charcoal on my first try using charcoal, and it looks freaking dead on accurate. And I'm usually pretty modest and self-deprecating. So if I say I'm good at it, you can trust I'm pretty good at it. But Donatello does machines using a 10-year-old cell phone. Donatello does machines, but I'm using a 10-year-old cell phone. And he's Donatello? What the? He's supposed to be our tech guy. There's one thing I know to master, and it's my bait baby. It's my bait baby. You talking about fishing? Hey, be a master at fishing. That's awesome. Can't go wrong there. Let's check out some Lord Grid music. I'll play you guys the one that I listened to one of his songs the other day, and it was fire. But yeah, we've had a good show. Thank you guys all for stopping in. I think all the lords are artists. Grim was showing his artwork. It was amazing. I'm a good stick crawler. A good stick crawler? Is that like a tree climber? But yeah, that video is somewhere on my channel of my garden from last year. It's called My Garden Adventure. It's pretty funny. I got some footage of some praying mantises getting it on. And they ain't stopping until 6 in the morning. Lord Grim. Lord Grim and his peace. Yo. Hey, y'all subscribe to Lord Grim. He's not in chat, but he's one of the lords and he's got cool music. We could play some Lord Luca music too. This is one I listen to. I like the beat. Drawler. A drawler. I speak with a southern drawl sometimes, therefore I'm a drawler. Gargantuan. Oh, you need to hold up. You didn't hear that. Gargantuan. Hey, this got me bumping. I was listening to it the other day.
Standing up looking down on you. Get out my way when I wrong, bro.
I asked him if he liked Lil Wayne. I wonder if that means he doesn't like Lil Wayne.
Everything about me enormous. That is just something I'm born with. Talking to God and I sworn shit. Sworn to be not of a bully. I'd rather bully the bullies. I'm not a killer, but push me. I know my stuff and I could be. Any contender that wants some. Niggas ain't nothing to run from. Dribble these niggas and dunk them. Put down these niggas and punt them. Swear to God, I'm not
Whoa!
You see?
We getting hypey in here. I play the drums like an animal. Anything else I wanted to talk about? Hey guys, the Discord. I mean, if anybody uses the Discord, if y'all want to jump in and talk about something, we can. How much is the rent where you at? Getting crazy with prices are going up. Yeah. So you can thank the government, both sides, the Republicans and the Democrats, specifically more the Democrats, but also the Republicans aren't much better. I do look at politics as right and left, or right and wrong, but the problem is the Overton window shifted so far left. Keep it PG, this is a family show. About that. Next men's conference, we should all go if we can. I wanted to go this past year because it was this past year I was down in Florida right around the time I left Florida, like 3 days before the men's conference in Orlando. Or no, I think I was down there during it actually in Tampa. But no, I think I left before. I can't remember. But I was down there right around the time. And I wanted to go. My family all lives down in Florida, so I was down there. I look at politics as dumb and dumbest. Well, politics is actually just like the study of the way the world works. So politics are neither like moral or immoral. Basically, the politics is just looking at the world and trying to come up with ideas which will help the situation the best. So then you have your different sides of the argument, and it's actually a grid. It's a compass, the political compass, and there's north, south, east, and west. And far to the right, you have anarchy. Far to the left, you have communism, and then there's authoritarianism and libertarianism, which is like how independent you are or how much you're ran by somebody. But politics is just like looking at that stuff and talking about it. But then the problem is you get the radicals, and then government. Government is the mess. I live in Pensacola. If they do the conference again here, I might go. I think social engineers creating chaos. Yeah, and so these elites, and really, it's not even the government anymore. Now it's just rich people, and corporations, giant giant mega corporations that are too big to fail. Banks, just all these huge companies, and they control everything. They control the politicians. There's money in politics, and then there's politics in money. There's politicians going to these corporations, getting backing, and then backing these corporations, and it's all a reciprocal thing. And they don't care about the little guy, but and neither one is better. But I would say I'm a conservative as long as we still have something to conserve. And so I'm a classical conservative. I believe on what America was founded on. But if they're rewriting the history of America, then I can't conserve anything anymore. So now I've become more radical, and the Overton window just keeps going left, and I just keep getting pushed farther and farther to the right, to the point where I want to be an anarchist. But I don't want to be an anarchist because I believe we do need government. We do need laws. We do need rules. And absolutely, JS Urban. Yeah, thank you. And also, I don't have a problem with authoritarianism. I have a problem with tyrannical authoritarianism. I have a problem with authoritarianism that I don't agree with the authority. If I agree with the authority, then we should have somebody in charge who is righteous and has the right ideas to run things. You know, that tends to work out well throughout history. And same thing with like indoctrination. People say indoctrination, like, oh, don't indoctrinate the kids. I think kids have to be indoctrinated. And there's nothing wrong with indoctrination. It's what is the doctrine. If the doctrine is bad, then the indoctrination is bad. But if the doctrine is good and righteous, then that's how kids should be indoctrinated. They got to. And so, but yeah, the government is crazy. The government be cray. But I don't want to be an anarchist. We do need some laws. We do need some civility. But yeah, I think we need a theocracy. We need what's the word I'm looking for? A king. We need a king. A patriarchal hierarchy. What's the word I'm looking for? We need a king. Play more music while you talk. All right. Oh, I'll play some more Luca music. How about that? How you feel about that? What's your best song? Lord Luca. I need Puff music. Oh, you don't want to hear your own music? Okay. Where's that one? I like Tyson James. This one's good. It's just I gotta know the.
Oh my gosh.
Keep to the founding documents. Yeah.
About the LGBTQ community.
Founding documents. Yeah. But now with the founding documents, they got a bunch of amendments that, you know, sometimes I am with those amendments. So it's my point as a conservative to conserve those founding documents. And it's not just, I'm not just about conserving that. I'm about conserving Christianity, old school Christianity, like biblical Christianity, not all this new stuff. Tiger, uppercut, communism. Kamehameha, communism. 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 Hey, I'm toxic. Say I'm toxic. Hey.
I'm toxic. I guess I'm toxic. Ain't with the LGBTQ. Y'all ain't gonna make it.
Believe me, you.
Just face it. You will never see me lose. Serve got him on
Hobson sick too.
They say I'm toxic. Ooh,
hey.
I talk to the youth like Dr. Seuss. If you my God, that's not good news. If you're born a girl, you're not a dude.
Ooh.
Okay, listen. Better believe and leave the weed smoke. You need to be woke.
Oh. Lord Luca, that's not good for the puffing session. He said, better leave the weed smoke. You need to be woke.
People want to see me choke, but y'all don't want to see me smoke. Ooh,
green dot with the
hey. Serve God, no gothic, hey. Some of y'all off, no logic, hey. I'ma serve God, I'm toxic, hey.
The more I read about Lincoln, the scarier he gets. I've kind of seen some of that too. I've heard a lot of negative things about Lincoln. Usually when I bring up Lincoln, it's just because I'm arguing with somebody who's all about like the African American civil rights, all that stuff. And I'm like, Lincoln was a Republican and Lincoln freed the slaves. And so I'm usually using it just as something to appeal from them. I haven't heard this song. Is this the one? No. This one. Less teeth with more throat. What is it? Throat punch? But isn't throat punch is not. I think I've heard of them. Your show is better than you really are a producer. Thanks, man. I try. I'm doing lots of things at the same time. It definitely be easier to have, somebody sitting here controlling all this stuff. The problem is I work. I do another YouTube channel where I do gaming, and I try to keep up to date on that, on the Dragon Ball card game, because that's something I really like. I have fun with, and it was something when I was in like a rough point in my life. I needed and I was starting to get on the right track. I had money coming in from work. I needed a positive way to spend money that could potentially make me money back in the future, and I could have fun and do a good hobby. So I can't. That's how I found the Dragon Ball Super card game, because these cards, a lot of them are bulk. They're not worth anything, but a lot of them hold value. And so I was homeless, just got off heroin. And fun fact, guys, if you didn't know yet, if you haven't looked through any of the videos on the channel, but ADBC is another good band. You mean ACDC? ABDC? ADBC? ADBC? ADBC. You know ADBC from Oz? So I started buying the cards. So I do that YouTube channel, which is all about the card game. So I got to be up to date on the new reveals of the cards and the new decks that are coming out, and I enjoy it. So I do that. And then I work a regular job. Usually work like 10 to 5, 10 to 4, whatever. 5-6 days a week. And then I do Twitch streaming, and then I do this. JS actually seems like he's done this before. Nick always seems like he's coming in for a crash. I haven't done like the live show thing like this before, but I do, I Twitch stream. So I know how to do like the transitions and bring stuff up and all that. But just talking for 3 hours is definitely, well, when I'm Twitch stream, I'll talk for hours, but I'm talking about a game. And so I'm just reacting to what the game's doing. But it's harder to actually have some topics that we're going to talk about. No girlfriend, man. Nah, bro. I'm an incel. I would be a proud incel, but the incels don't accept me. And I've tried. The Groiper Army, the NF boys. I can't say his name either. I might get banned. But, the Cozy TV fellas, the guys over there, they don't accept me because I'm not a virgin. So, but I'm like 4 or 5 years. No, guys, I'm strong, but I ain't that strong. So we just try to hide in our room in our mom's basement. I'm just kidding. I'm not in my mom's basement. 34 years old. I'm not in my mom's basement. Online apps are trash. Never used one. Never will. Not using no dating apps. Nope. I love when guys who are like part of the alpha community, or the not the alpha community, the red pill community. You guys know about the red pill community. That Kelvin Samuel guy who died recently. I have a lot of like people who are like fans of his or followers of his on my Facebook feed. These guys are the biggest simps. These guys are the biggest lames, dude. One of them has like 3 sex dolls. Okay. And this is not a children's show, by the way. This is the nighttime show, guys. So we talk about, we need more white babies. Yes, sir. That's a fact. Well, we need more. Yeah. I mean, I'm down to have some babies. That's the whole thing. But I'm not gonna get with. And like I had a girl recently that I was kind of like courting. I wasn't really courting her. She was kind of. I could tell she was attracted to me. I knew her from a couple years ago. She started messaging me. I started messaging her. She came over to the house, hung out, and we were talking about going and hanging out, getting some drinks or whatever. And so I tested her. I put her to the test. She came over to the house a couple times, and I'd put some JLP on. Guys, you want to know how to run them off quick? You want to know how to handle this? This is how you do it. Okay. The girl that you've been talking to for a little while, she's been coming to your house. Okay, you ask her about her relationship with her parents. Then you ask her how she feels about abortion. Then you ask her if she's ever heard of JLP, and you start playing some JLP. Yo, hey, that's how you find the one, I think, honestly. Because after The first two, asking her about her parents, you could tell she even started crying at one point and telling me her life story and stuff. And I was like, man, you need to forgive your dad for that, because if you're angry at him, like, she didn't claim to know God. She was like atheist or something. I don't know what she was, but she didn't claim to be like a daughter of God. But I was like, you can't have anger at your father. It's going to be a mess for you. And, she started crying. You going Lord H Sizzle night, y'all. See you tomorrow in the JLP chat. If Creek don't rise, great show, JF. Hey, we'll be heading out of here soon, Lord H Sizzle. So thank you. Hey, Lord Grim. Hey, look who just jumped up in chat, bro. Lord Grim. What were we looking at here a second ago? Hold on. Let me see if I click back. Hold on. Don't let me forget what we were just talking about, guys. What were we just talking about? Oh, so yeah, so that thing, I think she liked that, actually, that I was talking to her about her family and telling her, his urban adventures! Dun, 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 dun. Like Spider-Man, bro. Lord Grim makes my name sound super exciting. like I'm a dang superhero. Lord Grim needs mod. All right. Since you guys are all like supporting the channel, yeah, and you let me post my stuff in the Facebook group, and you don't get mad at me for plugging stuff, and you guys show up. I can go ahead and mod up Lord Grim just because I played his song recently, but I have to do it. I can't do it through OBS. I'd have to. I can do it right here. Well, so what was I saying? Oh, so yeah, so I think that made her more attracted to me when I was asking about her dad and stuff. And then when I asked about abortion and I told her I don't think women should be allowed to vote, then she was real. She got definitely turned off there. And then the last straw was when I was playing JLP in the morning, because she spent the night at my house and we didn't do anything. She stayed the night like 2 or 3 times, and we didn't have any cess, but she stayed there. And in the morning, what I do every morning, which I wasn't doing this to test her really, but I realized it is the test, because every morning I play JLP. That's what I listen to when I wake up. So I was playing it, walking around making my coffee while she was awake and getting some coffee too. And dude, she's just like, I don't know how you listen to this guy. Everything he's saying is crazy. And I'm like, that's how I know you're not the right one, chick. Bye. Time to go to work. Get out the door. We handled it. That's how we handled it. But yeah, she actually stayed the night here a couple times, but we did not have sex. We didn't do anything. We didn't kiss. Nothing. At one point, she was drunk texting me saying, let's make out. And I was like, I pulled the, yo, this is how, if when you're a player, this is how you do it. You tell them, I don't just make out with every girl that I gotta get to know you first. Oh my God. That just that backfired on me, dude. That excites them. They want some more of that. But anyway, what was I saying about the red pill sphere? Oh yeah, the Samuel. Now listen, I never listened to that Kevin Samuel guy. I don't know anything about him. I don't know if he's good or bad or whatever. All I know is his fans. A lot of his fans on my Facebook were the biggest simps. These guys have sex dolls, and they're proud of it. They're openly like, check this out. I have this sex doll because it helps me. I have to have sex 6 times a day, and I got tired of going around and sleeping with all these different women. First off, you're not having sex with 6 women a day. You're just trying to sound cool. And telling me about your body count on Facebook, showing me pictures of your sex dolls. Now I can't know what to believe, because I don't know if you're counting these sex dolls as actual women. You say you have sex 6 times a day, but you have 3 sex dolls. I found his show in June of 2020 through Get a Job. Jesse Lee Peterson on YouTube. What is JLP? D Milk and JLP is, yeah, it's Jesse Lee Peterson on YouTube. It's just a great news source. It's like everybody's got where they go for their news. Some people watch CNN, some people watch Fox. I watch the JLP show, the Jesse Lee Peterson show, every morning. No problem with the mod Lord Grim. I was trying to show you. If I hit back, Oh, it's not going to take me to it? There's we go. We were listening to this in the stream just a little while ago. Oh. I love it. This is fire, bro. Woo! Alright. Thanks for the mod. Good job. YouTube. Okay, yeah, so answering Dean. Yeah, JLP is on YouTube. That's kind of how we all met Dean Milken, is through the JLP's chat, and he's just a news reporter. You should watch it. It's every morning. Just look up Jesse Lee Peterson in the morning. But yeah. Fire. But yeah, Dean, JLB's awesome. And then there's another channel called Get a Job. You can Google YouTube Dean Get a Job Savage Moments. And that's how most people find out about Jesse, is because they see one of those videos and they're hilarious. But yeah. And just so everybody knows, I may use a lot of Jesse euphemisms just because I listen to it every day. So if I say beta or I say what the and I talk kind of like him, we pick up mannerisms from people we respect and people we listen to and people we hang out with, people we talk to, so that's why I do that. I'm not trying to like bite off of Jesse or anything. And good night, you going to bed, Lord Luca? Yeah, we're gonna be jumping off soon. It's 9:30. We're gonna be jumping off soon. Yeah, so if I sound like him or if I'm talking about the same ideas as him, that's why I like the show. Isn't because I don't believe everything I believe because Jesse told me it and now I believe it. I like Jesse because everything he says, I believe. Everything he says, I've thought that at some time, or I've been like, yeah, racism doesn't make no sense. It doesn't make no sense because kids aren't racist. It doesn't make sense. It's just they're just angry. They're this, that, or the other. So things like that, things like forgive your mother. Like this is all biblical truths. This is all like some, So I'm not like trying to bite or I say what a mess all the time now, right? Instead, it's kind of helped me to not say shit. Like, instead of, look at this bullshit, I could just say, what a mess. Or, look at this mess. Look at this mess. Awesome. Well, I got to split work early. Good to catch you live. I'll keep checking on the notifications. Good info. Hey, we'll try to do this show every Monday night, Dean. So come back Monday night at 6. He's reaffirmed things I already knew. Right. And that's the whole message, is that we already know the truth. The truth is written in our hearts. We already know the truth. And this isn't just something from Jesse. This is from the Bible. So, but yeah. I love my JLP fam, the lords and the ladies in the chat. Hopefully I can, we build something here and then I can message, Nick. And maybe, hopefully, I'd love to be on the I can't move or anything to go work with them. I know they were taking production applications and stuff, but I can't move or anything to go out there. But if the network ever grows, I would just love to be considered for it, I would rather be on the JLP network than Blaze and I watch Crowder too. I watch Elijah Schaefer. I watch Slightly Offensive. I watch Daily Wire. I watch Matt Walsh and then I watch Destiny and I watch Vosh. Oh, I don't really like watching Vosh, but I watch some Destiny. I make fun of Hunter Avalon. I watch him. So I watch all kinds of content, but Jesse's just probably who I agree with most. But awesome. I'll come back and check, rest, and feel good. I love my song Mystery. Mystery. I gotta get to Lord Grimm. And go subscribe to Lord Grimm, you guys. Go subscribe to Lord Luca Music. I don't know which other you lords and ladies in the chat have a channel and you want to. Your newest one's called Off, right? Or no, that's not out yet. Which one? Mystery? Wavelength, Almighty, Target Practice, Off, Ernest Richardson, Wavelength. I don't see one called Mystery. Yeah, Vosh is gross. Yeah. But still, I watch stuff like that. Even him, does lot look amazing. Thank you, bro. I even watch stuff like Vosh just so I can hear the opposing arguments, and it helps you learn how to rebuttal these people and how to defeat them in conversation when you actually listen to what they have to say. Destiny is copying Hake's look. Destiny's over on Cozy now. He's banned from Twitch. He's over on Cozy, and people like Dalton Clodfelter and other people have been saying Destiny is eventually going to be like a Zeppelin for the right. He's going to slow, because he is changing. He is changing. He's not as extreme left as he used to be, and he's slowly coming back to the light. He was in the light as a child, and then he, as most people do, he ran away from it, and he's slowly coming back, and he's going to be a beast one day for the right. You were just paying the mystery song. I thought I was playing Gargantuan. It came on after Gargantuan. Oh, my bad. Okay, my bad. Oh, Mystery is right here. Good to hear the other side absolutely and destroy their bed of arguments. Facts. That's what you got to do. Sometimes it's fun to even argue from their side, devil's advocate, the devil's avocado, as Nick said. My brother is a liberal, easy to pick out his mess. Yep. But yeah, guys, I think we're gonna. It's almost 9:30. It's a couple minutes. We're probably gonna be heading out. You got here late, Lord Grimm, but I saw you were live. But yeah, guys, this is gonna be my time. I'm gonna aim for every week. Monday nights. We'll kick the week off right. We'll Monday's the crappy day, so we'll try to kick it off right. That way, it gives me the weekend to plan for the show. And all the good stuff. And, I'm in the Facebook group with you guys, so if you ever have any topics you want me to talk about or consider talking about, or you have any fun articles, just shoot them over to me on Facebook. We got Discord. If you guys ever want to do calls in and talk about stuff, Discord is in the description. All my links and stuff are in the description. My email. I put my PayPal and my Venmo in there, so if somebody later sees this video and wants to shoot me some money, just go do it. That's just, why not? Let it play out, though. Yeah, and I will see you guys tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow on in the chat. Nice. Yeah, I like the music, Lord Grimm. Yeah, so let me know what you guys want to talk about, and then you can also drop in the comment section of this video. Oh, shoot. Hold on, there's one thing I had to do. You know what? We're going to do that. We're going to talk about that next week. Somebody left a long comment on my last week's show, and I wanted to cover it, but I totally forgot. I should have wrote it down. But I had a question in it, so I will answer that next week. But yeah, in the video, if you guys, not in the live chat, but if you have any questions or anything that you want me to touch on next week, drop it in the comment section of the VOD of this video. And I'm gonna head out, guys. Thank you everybody for stopping by. All the lords and ladies, we got you modded up. Thank you, fam. Thank you, Lord Grimm, for stopping by. And yeah, that's about it, guys. I'm gonna go. God bless everybody. I'll catch you next week, Monday night, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. All right, boys. Later.